This organized chaos video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Hey, mic on. How's everybody doing? So yeah, this kind of came last minute. I wasn't actually expecting to stream tonight, but you know what? I have to take a shot at, my audio should be on now. But yeah, I gotta talk to Eric July here. Now I've not done, let's see, I haven't done, Skype and OBS in a while, so this might be a little rocky. We're gonna see what happens. You should be able to hear him though.
What's going on? You live?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. What's going on?
Oh, I just want to talk to you about some stuff that you've been tweeting. Kind of interesting stuff. Let me get you set up on here.
Okay.
Are you just audio?
Yeah, I'm just. Okay. You won't be able to see me at all. I'm just coming in.
That works way easier. That works way easier. How's your day going, man?
I'm doing great. We have you on, or more so, it was one of these things that we set up. You had certainly have had, let's say that, interesting things to say about me. You called me or likened me. You said I seem like a dumbass. You've also called me a piece of shit. True. As well. So, by the way, just before we get started, do you ever go to cons, like Comic Cons or anything like that?
Yeah. If I get a chance to, I do.
Okay. Just throwing this out there before we get started. Any event that I happen to be at one of those, and you happen to be there as well. Let's just make sure that we link up and we kind of chop it up about kind of some of those comments. Nonetheless.
Sure.
As far as the problems that you have with me, I'm going to go ahead and let you air out your grievances, and let's just see kind of what your issues are. And because again, you've voiced certainly a lot of concern, disrespect, all of that stuff. So go ahead.
Okay, sure. Well, let's get to the most recent thing. Whoever this person is, I don't even know, but this person did a tweet essentially saying, essentially it's a person criticizing the art in ISM, which I would say they have some complaints. I'm sure you're very proud of that book, but I feel like there's a movement issue where things like, you don't get a sense of movement in that book. It's weird. But anyways, I'm not so much interested in their criticism as much as your response to that criticism, which was simply to say, I just saw you were artistic. Carry on. Yeah, for starters, that was not the first tweet that I tweeted at him. Nonetheless, and yes, that was a tweet that I did send to the guy who, and let's be clear, just for the audience's sake, this is a person who claimed themselves, they have bragged about it, or rather put it in their description as they want the audience or everybody it is viewing their Twitter to know that they're autistic. That is something that they're leading with, okay? All right. And it is in their bio. I'll give you that.
Yep, exactly. So that's something that I acknowledged. And I told that person to carry on in a follow-up tweet to my previous one. And that was all that was. I'm assuming that you have an issue with me pointing out the fact that the person was autistic and me saying that carry on. What exactly is the problem there?
Well, what does that have to do with their criticism of your art? Why would you possibly bring that up?
I would bring that up. Again, they lead with it, right? And that
it's in their bio.
Correct. So it's something they lead with. That's something that they want the people who click on their page to find out who it is that they are. That's something that they're leading with and that they want them to know about them, right? That's what a bio is there for. You agree with that, right?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So if I know someone's autistic, I am not going to handle them the same way in conversation that I would someone that's not autistic. In fact, I'd handle them rather completely different, and as I would be far more patient with them. And I explained that, and I'm sure you have those tweets pulled up, and you should. explaining that, yeah, it means that I have to be more patient with you because, well, you have autism and you've admitted that you have autism. I don't know if you've dealt with people that are, let's say, on the spectrum. Per se, I have certainly over the course of my life, and I understand that you must be patient with those types. Is there an issue, I guess, there with me being patient with autistic people?
All right. Well, let me ask you this: what does that possibly have to do with their criticism? Why would you bring that up? It'd be like criticizing me and then saying I support Ukraine. Okay, so what?
Well, that's no. It's in how I just explained that to you, but I'll go ahead and do it again. If I'm going to have a conversation with someone, we're going to go back and forth, whatever it is, and I have now saw that they have, let's say, a disability or an issue or something that would hinder them, let's say, in understanding the conversation, I would handle them as such and act accordingly, right? So with this person right here, who, again, in his bio leads with the fact that they are autistic, I stated, oh, you're autistic. Carry on, as in, okay, I will be patient with you. And he asked, again, you have the tweets there. He asked me what did they have to do with anything, and I explained exactly that. That means that I have to be more patient with you. And again, anybody that's worked with autistic people or had conversations with autistic people, you know that that's how you have to approach the conversations. You'd be silly to approach it in a way that, let's say, acts as if they have, let's say, a different set of capacities or whatever it is that you want to call it. So I don't see anything wrong with it. I would love to know where you're I guess finding the issues.
Oh, well, yeah, no, it's kind of obvious. So like I understand. So okay, somebody's autistic, so you handle them differently. Why do you feel the need to point out that they're autistic on a public platform where you know you have followers that will go after them for that?
This person, again, has in their own bio. So apparently they're not ashamed of that and they want everybody to know that. So how on earth could that be a problem?
Well, what does that have to do with their criticism of your art,
Let me finish out my thought real quick.
Okay.
Let me finish out my thought real quick. Why on earth would that be an issue? It's like if I say, hey, I am the owner of the Rippaverse, and someone acknowledges me as the owner of the Rippaverse, how can I possibly have an issue with that? In the event that someone brings that up in conversation, I wouldn't. That'd be silly because, well, that's the truth and that's in my bio, right? That's something that I'm leading with. Or they said that I do the vocals in backwards or whatever it is. That's who I am. That's in my bio. That's specifically in my bio. So upon seeing that and understanding that, I am going to handle this person differently. And if you do go and look at the back and forth, I am very, very patient with this person because, well, that's how I have to be with an autistic person to try to get them to understand what it is that I am saying. And turned out that person ended up blocking me anyway.
Yeah.
So, but
I don't blame them. I know.
That's fine. But I'm just explaining to you why it is that I said what it is that I said. And there's nothing as far as or a particular problem with that.
So do you think like your fan base looks at this and says, oh, we need to treat this person carefully? I mean, what is the point of saying this, though? It has nothing to do with what they're saying.
Is there something that's being, I don't know if it's the acoustics or what, but is there some type of like communication being lacked here with you? Because I have explained to you multiple times exactly why I said what it is.
You keep on saying that you treat autistic people differently when that would be fine. Except why do you feel the need to call them out as autistic? What does that have to do with anything?
I just explained to you why I said what it is that I said. I just
No, you explained that you treat them differently, and that's fine.
Yes, and that was why I said it.
But why do you feel the need to call it out? Just treat them differently.
Well, I explained exactly why it is that I said that. And this also explains why I would talk to them in the way that I talk to them with such like patience. You know what I mean? It's kind of being patient right here with you because you're like almost refusing to understand what it is that I'm saying. And I think it's because, and correct me if I'm wrong, and that you're trying to pin on me as if I said something, let's say like disrespectful or something. When again, you can't possibly translate that to meaning that because, well, the person is leading with the fact that they are autistic. Mm-hmm. So what do you have against autistic people? Because maybe it's your own sensibilities. I don't know. To where you would think, hold on, let me tell you where you would think, I guess that would end up being some, like you mentioned, fan base or something. And I don't know where do you think someone is going? Do you think that like someone is like that much lesser than because they're autistic, that you think that someone, let's say following me in this case, or a fan of myself, would then have an issue with like autistic. How do you think yourself, or what is your view on autistic people yourself, that you're coming to such a conclusion? Because that's not the conclusion that I would come to.
You see, that's not my conclusion at all. But I happen to know. I happen to know. Do you think your fan base treats autistic people respectfully?
I would think that they treat people how they treat people individually, whether it be whatever they are. Autistic, doesn't matter. Not autistic, not on the spectrum, like certain political views, color, like whatever. The individual teaches the person or treats the person how they're going to treat that individual. I don't even understand why you're asking me that question.
Because it's an interesting insight, because you feel the need to announce that this person's autistic in the discussion. You know, and I understand. I understand it's in their bio. We don't need to go over the whole spiel. I understand that.
All right. No.
But why do you listen?
You can't, hold on. No. I've already explained exactly where my position is, but you can't possibly pin me announcing it when the person themselves has announced it. They did that. I didn't do that. They themselves did it. They wanted it to be acknowledged, and that's exactly what it is that I did. And even then, I explained specifically and directly to this person exactly why I would do it. Like, so I don't know if you're trying to be offended on their behalf or what have you, because even the conversation, or rather the dialogue with the person had already been had, right? I specifically state, and I don't know if you want to pull up the tweets that are there since you seem to have them handy. I specifically state why, because a person asked, hey, what does that have to do with this? I explain exactly that. I have to be patient with you, and I understand I'm going to handle you differently because, well, you're autistic. And you announced that to really everybody, not just me. You announced it to everybody. It's specifically in your bio. So, again, you can't possibly take that as
But just because it's in their bio has nothing to do with their actual complaint, though. So why bring it up? You aren't answering the question. You aren't.
I am answering it directly. Why I brought it up, because I'm being patient with it. And again, the conversation was had. We discussed all of the panels. We discussed all of that stuff in that actual thread. I simply brought it up at the beginning of the conversation, specifically because it's following a previous tweet that, oh, wait, I learned after the fact, because I clicked on your page, that you're autistic. So I got to handle you different. And that's what I did.
So, but why don't you just handle them different then? Why announce it?
I did handle them different.
No, but why announce it?
Because I want this person to understand that I am going to handle them differently.
You want them to, so you see autistic people differently then. You see them as less.
Yes, absolutely. I 100% see autistic people differently than I would see non-autistic people. I mean, that's why they're autistic and other people aren't autistic. There's a differentiation there. There's something that comes with it. It's not just a fluff, catch-all word. So, yes, absolutely. I would treat someone differently if they have autism versus if they don't, especially in how, if I'm going to try to have a honest dialogue with that person and I want to convey a message and I want to understand that person, I should be patient with this individual, far more patient than I would be if someone was not autistic. So absolutely, yes, I would handle that person differently. That's specifically, explicitly what it is that I said. You have to adjust.
So your whole argument right now is essentially, you're going to treat them as less than, their opinion is less because they're autistic.
No, that's what you said. And please don't put words in my mouth. That is not my argument. No, I'd never said that.
Well, if you're not going to treat them as less than, then why even announce it? Why not just treat them as normal then? That's what I would do.
I'm going to treat them differently, right? I'm going to treat them differently. Doesn't mean I'm going to treat them less than. It means that I'm going to treat them in the conversation differently. Right? As I would a person that is on, let's say let's say if they're not autistic, I would not handle a conversation the same way if they, I guess in comparison to if they weren't, right? That's how conversation should work. Doesn't matter what it is. It's like you have communication barriers, you have language barriers, all of that stuff. I'd imagine that, well, I wouldn't speak to, let's say, if this person does not speak Spanish, I'm not going to speak Spanish to that person. I'll speak English if they understand English, right? It's just basic communication, and that you want to be able to meet that person exactly where it is that they are in the event that you want them to understand what it is that you're saying, right? And you have to do that with autistic people. Again, I don't know if you are familiar with having like conversations with these types, especially if there's going to be debates, but you would know if you have that you absolutely have to handle them differently if it's going to be an honest one and in good faith. And here's the thing that I find, let's kind of turn this around, in that you seem to take no issue with the fact that the person disrespected me, the person that you're referring to, right? You're acting, you're kind of clutching your pearls. You're talking about this whole autism thing as if I did something nefarious, when the person that you're talking about disrespected me and in my name, right? And the first tweet that they tweeted in that thread. And you don't seem to take issue with that. That's fine. But you take issue with me simply mentioning the fact that they are autistic, which means that you're not actually concerned with like some level of like disrespect or lesser than, because the person that you're referring to, I said nothing to them, right? The person that you're referring to disrespected me first. Right off the rip, before I even engaged, they disrespected me. So you haven't even brought that up. Is that okay? Do you support the fact that this person would disrespect me, calling me out of my name, right? Calling me out of my name right off the rip. Is that something that you support?
All right. So are you familiar?
No. Can you answer the question? Is that something that you support?
Well, I'm getting to it. So, are you familiar with the concept of punching up and punching down?
No. I've answered a lot of your questions. Can you please answer the question that I just posed to you? I am telling you, it's factual. You can look it up yourself. That the first tweet in this person's thread, they disrespected me. Is that something that what they call me a clown?
Okay. Are you familiar with the concept of punching up and punching down?
Can you please answer the question?
Okay, they called you a clown. I'll get a tiny violin for you. Are you familiar with the concept of punching up and punching down?
No. I'm not asking for a tiny violin. Can you please answer the question if that's something it is that you support?
Do I support you being called a clown? Not particularly.
Yes. So the level of disrespect there is basically what it is that I'm referring to. The person objectively called me out of my name. Okay. Disrespect. That's something that they did.
Eric?
Before I even initiate.
Eric, I understand your fifis were hurt, okay? Are you familiar with the concept of punching up and punching down?
It's not about anybody's feelings being hurt. I am trying to see.
Well, if your feelings weren't hurt, why do you care? Wait, if your feelings weren't hurt, why do you care?
I am asking you. This is about your logical consistency. This isn't about any of my feelings. There's nothing that's going to happen out of this that can change the fact that I am in a very, very good spot, especially with my morale. We're talking about whether or not you universalize the position it is that you have. You started this entire conversation trying to ask me questions pertaining to this whole thing of autism, and as if I am disrespecting, down talking this person because I brought it up. I am seeing if you universalize.
Well, I mean, you admitted you are.
Hold on, let me finish. I'm seeing if you universalize the position because the person that we're speaking about disrespected me before I ever said anything about anything, before I ever engaged with this person, they disrespected me. Now you clutch your pearls at the idea of me mentioning something that they bring up publicly.
You are going on and on, dude.
I am asking you simply, is that something that you support? Is that something, let's say I ask you to be even more clear. Eric, or do you see that as a positive thing that this person disrespected me, calling me out of my name?
Okay, they called you a clown. Eric, there's only so much sympathy I'm going to give you for that. I'm seriously wondering, do you understand what punching up and punching down is?
You continue to ask questions, but you're not answering mine. You can see.
What do you want me to do? Do you want me to cry you a river? What is this?
I want you to ask. All I want you to do is to answer the question.
That's okay, I already said they probably shouldn't call you a clown, but dude, are you familiar with punching up and punching down?
So you, just to be clear here, you do not see that as matter of fact, you see that as a negative thing that they initiated this conflict in calling me a clown, right?
All right.
Correct.
So
I'm asking,
Eric,
I'm just
Eric, how many followers do they have?
Oh my God! Can you please answer the question? Is that correct?
Dude, I already answered. How many followers do they have?
Is that correct? Is that correct? Can you
Eric,
please answer the question?
Eric, I am not answering the question any goddamn more. How many followers do they have?
Confirm? I have no problem answering that question. Can you please confirm that that was negative and you see that as negative?
I already answered you, Eric. How many answers do you need? Do you understand what I've said?
Can you confirm it? Can you just say, yes, that was negative?
Yes, it was negative.
All
But
right,
Eric,
perfect. All right,
how many followers do they have?
Ask me what it is that I have no idea how many followers that they have. No idea.
Are you familiar with the concept of punching up and punching down?
Yes.
All right. So when they did that, would that be punching up or punching down?
Well, I am better than this person, and I was.
Wow, that's super shitty. Let's just say
I'm absolutely. I'm better than this person, and yes, they would be punching up.
Okay, yes. So when you went after them, that's punching down.
I didn't went after. I'm the responding agency. I just look at it like that.
The responsible thing would just be to let it go, right?
Well,
what do they got? Like a dozen followers? Come on.
I disagree. I think that I pride myself, and I don't know how you go about.
I don't see how that makes you the better person.
Being interactive and being interactive with like my audience, be it in supporters or detractors. I do not care how many followers it is that they have or anything of that nature. So I see someone saying things about me, right? And hilariously enough, you have someone and this person responding to basically slander, libel, call it whatever that you want to call it, and claiming that I scammed somebody, right? And then this person responds, right? Negatively, of course, as you just admitted, calling me a clown. I am the responding agency, and that's it. That's it. I have no problem engaging with people regardless of what followers count that they have.
So you seem like you get really offended by people calling you a clown, apparently.
Not necessarily. It's more of the only reason why we brought that up was, again, and I will reiterate.
Well, if you weren't offended, why do you even address it?
The one reason that I brought that up was to test your logical consistency. That was the only reason why I'm
trying to figure out why you have over 500,000 followers. Surely you get called a lot of names. I have significantly less, and I get called a lot of names. If you're such a big person, why are you so triggered by this person calling you a clown and criticizing your art?
I don't think that I reject the premise first and foremost, in that
let me just get this straight. You're rejecting facts.
I reject the premise.
You're rejecting facts.
No, it's not a fact.
What did I say that's untrue?
So why? Well, what you said, because you're using the term triggered. I reject that usage. I reject the usage.
I actually haven't said that word.
Did you not just say triggered? Chat. Everybody correct us if he just said triggered, correct? I want to make sure that I'm not tripping. Did he not just say that I was triggered? Did he not just say that? Right?
I guess, you could say I implied it, if nothing else. I don't recall saying that word, but whatever. Dude.
All right, you just said it. So, man, it's hard to believe that you're acting in good faith when you just said it, and now you just lied, right?
Eric,
you just lied and said that you didn't say it.
Wow.
Yes, you lied.
How often do you want...
You just used the term triggered, and then you just claim that you didn't.
So,
that happened in like a...
How often do you want to move the goalpost in this conversation?
How is that a move? How's that moving of the goalpost? You just lied, dude.
I just lied? I pretty much just said
Yes.
Dude, I did. All I said was I wasn't sure I used the word triggered, but you know what? I'll go ahead. And then I said, you know what? I'll give it to you because I essentially implied it. So I gave it to you, and then you called me a liar.
Right. So that's why I said I rejected the premise. I called you a lie because you just said you didn't.
Well, how did you? Wait, you still didn't tell me what I said was wrong. So how are you rejecting the premise? I'd like to hear this.
The part of I'm talking about the triggered part. That was the part that I'm referring to that's wrong, and I already said that.
Okay. Explain how a person with significantly less followers than you, got you to respond and call them out for being autistic, and that wasn't being triggered. I want you to explain that to me.
All right. Easily, because it's basic conversation. And I don't know if you are...
Basic conversation?
Yeah, basic conversation. Basic conversation.
Do you understand remotely how your fan base works?
I understand how I work. and I am an individual. So let's address me for the sake of this conversation and how I work, and how, because that's what we're talking about, how I work. And how I work is,
do you understand you have a fan base?
It is that you have.
Do you understand that you have a fan base? Do you not care about your fan base?
I don't care how many followers.
So you don't care about your fan base?
Oh, I love my fan base. I don't know why you would think otherwise.
Well, then why are you talking about them not caring about them? Don't you think they matter?
No, I'm saying that
How do you think they respond when you call out somebody as autistic?
Let's go back to the original goalpost before we start answering.
Well, actually, this was the original goalpost. I worked this back to it.
No, you just went on about this whole. We talked about the rejection of the premise, right? And then you asked me a question that's triggered, and now you're trying to move you talk about goalpost moving, and now you're talking about something else. So let's just talk specifically about the trigger thing. I don't care how you operate. I don't care how many followers it is that you think I have, or how maybe that would adjust how you would respond to things. That is wholly irrelevant to me. Me personally, I don't care how many followers it is that you have. I have no issue having a conversation with you. I have no issues engaging with you, and that be it fan, be that supporter, be that person that is a detractor, person that disrespects me, person that does not like me. I do not care. I have absolutely no issues engaging in conversation with them.
Okay,
that's what I do.
But again, how do you think your fan base responds when you call somebody autistic?
I don't understand what it is that you're asking from that. Like, I called an autistic.
I think you understand very well, and you just don't want to answer.
No, I don't actually understand, because I don't understand what the issue is that I called someone. I refer to someone as autistic that has in their bio that they're autistic.
Because it was irrelevant.
Like, upset that I told
it was absolutely an irrelevant fact to bring up.
I wouldn't say. No, it's not irrelevant, because again, I'm going to have a conversation with that person in a different.
So
different
what?
Way.
Just talk to them like a normal human being. They are a normal human being.
Well, that's how you would. That's fine. If you don't want to acknowledge that, and if you were in conversation, you wouldn't acknowledge that. That's your business. Me, I acknowledged it.
But why do you feel the need to say it?
I've already explained that.
Okay, and you have to think about your fan base. How do you think your fan base responds to that?
What are you asking? What do you mean, how do I think that they respond to that?
Well, you've seen what your fan base does.
I would imagine they would. As far as what?
And listen, I'm not saying you take full responsibility for your entire fan base, but I am saying you take some responsibility, especially when you're calling somebody out as autistic.
Do you not think that I have autistic fans?
You probably do. I hope you do.
Okay, so I have autistic fans. In fact, if you look at the thread,
what does that have to do with anything, Eric?
Bring it. It has everything to do with it, because you're trying to bring up the fact that, that's the part that's irrelevant. Because you're bringing how do I think they would respond? They would respond. I'm trying to answer your question.
Okay.
They would respond the way that they would respond to anything else, and that is, hey, guy calls autistic guy that that brags about them or puts it in their bio that they're autistic. Mm-hmm. It's really that simple. It's not a rocket science by any means.
Okay, so I'm going to get you on the record now. So you just brought up how you have autistic fans, and that's a defense for what you just did, right?
No, it's not. No. I'm just saying that I'm bringing up the fact that I have autistic fans, because you are bringing it up as if you're saying that how would my fans respond to something like that? And I'm saying that, well, there's autistic fans. So that's it's a non-point, essentially.
So your whole point is you have autistic fans, so it's all right for you to call out people as autistic?
No, that's not what it is that I just said. And I don't know what call out means. The guy called himself autistic himself. That he did.
It's in his bio, and it had nothing to do with the complaints he had against you. He was asking you, he wasn't even asking you at this point. He was bringing up your artwork, and your response was just to say he's autistic, and that seems pretty shitty.
No. There's more to the thread, right?
Now,
There's actual conversation being had about the panels that he's referring to. So the conversation was
yeah.
had. That was the thing that was had. That was early on when I
Mm-hmm.
first discovered that tweet, and I was like, oh snaps! Considering that I just tweeted at him, like, okay, I got to handle you a little different. Carry on.
Okay. So I'm
That's
still
what happened.
so let's go back to another point we were at, and we just circled right back around to this. Do you understand what punching up and punching down is?
I've already answered that question. I say yes.
Okay. All right. So when he called you whatever, was that punching up or punching down?
He's punching up.
Okay. And then when you decide to call him autistic and send your fans after him, is that punching up or punching down?
Twitter is a website, right?
Dude, you have fans. You have a degree of responsibility for them. I'm not going to say you have to take responsibility for what all your fans do. Okay, go ahead and answer.
I'm going to answer the question. I'm going to answer the question.
Go ahead and answer.
Let me get to answering the question. So, considering that, right, it's Twitter. The point is to reply. Like that's the whole function of the Twitter.
Not necessarily.
And there's somebody that is talking about that's everything that you send that has an at is called a reply.
You can.
I'm
not saying you can't.
The point of the okay.
You go ahead.
The point of the website is to reply, right? The point of the website is to reply. I did that.
Okay. Wait, that's your entire point? You replied?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Wait, what the hell point is that? That's like a non-point. It's like just saying I reply. What the? Huh?
No, you asked me like what I consider that, and that's what I consider it, a reply.
But I'm asking you if it's punching up or punching down, not a reply.
And no, I already answered that question.
So what is it?
I already answered that question, and that's what it is. It's neither. It's a reply.
Oh, it is actually something, Eric. You can't say it's neither.
Yeah,
you have
500,000
subscribers. I'm willing to bet this guy doesn't have near that much.
Well, okay. So what they got to do with me?
Well, don't you think that you have a fan base that is particularly hostile towards people who might be autistic?
No.
No?
No.
So if they're not going to be like, if they're not going to have any reaction to this person being autistic, why bother announcing it to the world?
No, they might have a reaction. Oh, they might have a reaction. They can do with that reaction.
Okay,
yeah, so they might have a reaction.
So are you just not taking any responsibility for your fans whatsoever then?
Well, I would never do that. I mean, I'm not responsible for another individual. The only people that I'm responsible for is myself and responsible to my family. That's
okay.
It.
Oh, okay. So you're not responsible to your fans or anything? Because these people aren't your fans. So you're not responsible to them.
That's a contract.
So you're only responsible for your fans if they buy stuff from you?
That's the business exchange. So that's what I'm responsible for.
So only if they buy stuff from you? So if they just watch your videos, you don't count them?
The exchange is. Yeah, that's where the exchange is at. That's what I'm responsible to, is that I've entered into a contractual agreement. So that will be the only thing that I am literally responsible for, is to honor that side. So when it comes to other individuals, like I said, my only responsibility is to, aside from myself, my family, obviously, and to people that I enter into any business or contractual, let's say, agreement with. Fan or non-fan, doesn't matter. And as my fans are supporters, customers, let's say, of the Rippaverse. So obviously in that exchange, when they make a project, a purchase, I'm obliged, now I'm obligated rather, to honor my side of the bargain. But far as to what they do in their personal life, that has nothing to do with me. That is them and the other
what
way
are we
around.
talking
Like
about?
I don't sit
Their
there, I'm not
personal
the
life? What the
mouthpiece for
hell?
anybody.
That's a huge goalpost.
Well, you're
sir.
the one. No, I'm saying like what they do personally. Like, so how they react. You're talking to fans like I'm
how
like
they
some cult
react to
leader or
you
something.
to
Like
you announcing this person is autistic. That's what I'm asking you about specifically.
What about it? I've explained exactly that. Like they're gonna react how they react. Like
So
I just don't
essentially,
understand why it is.
your whole argument is that you just called this
that.
person autistic, and then you're just going to wash your hands of what your audience does, right?
I called this person what they said that they are.
Even though it was completely irrelevant to the conversation.
And then explain, hold on. And then, no, it's very relevant because that explains how I'm going to handle them. And I explained that to the other person.
Dude, you just handle them. If you feel the
them.
need to handle them differently, then just handle them differently. You don't need to announce it to the world. The only
business.
reason to announce it is a signal to your fans.
That's fine. If you don't want to know, it's a signal to that guy, right? Because he's the one that I'm replying to.
Why do you need to tell him he's autistic? He knows that.
Well, I would hope that absolutely he knows that. And
then why would you tell him that? That's the dumbest excuse I've ever heard.
It's not an excuse. I'm just telling you what happened. It's not. I don't have to. There's not an excuse that needs to be made here. I'm just explaining to you what happened. That's it. I'm telling you exactly what happened. I said, you're autistic. So I just responded to this guy, right? I just responded to him, and there was a response in which I didn't know the guy was autistic, right? So I had that response, it's sent, right? It was already tweeted. And then after I clicked on his page, I saw that he was autistic. And I said, that's why I said, snaps, you're autistic. Mm-hmm. Carry on. So I handled him different. That's all.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have another question for you. So, again, on Twitter, because your tweets are really fascinating, you talk about, like, comic books and media on your channel all the time, but apparently you haven't watched or read any of them since Black Widow. So can I ask you how you engage with them?
What do you engage with who?
What the topics you talk so on your channel you talk about movies and comic books a lot, but you aren't watching them. What's the deal? Why should we listen to you?
Well, I don't have to explain to you because you're not like a supporter of mine or by any means. So I don't know who you're referring to. I will answer by saying you don't have to listen to me.
Well, what if I wanted to be a fan? But I'm like, wait, he doesn't watch this stuff. Why would I listen to him?
Correct.
So why would I listen to you?
You don't have to. You don't have to listen to me. I'm not trying to convince you.
Okay, but why would you announce it then? That you essentially you're announcing that your opinion's worthless on this stuff. So why would you announce that?
No, that's not what I'm announcing.
Okay, what are you announcing?
Because I am pointing out the fact that I've gone a long. All right, easy. It's not difficult at all. I've gone a long period of time. The point of that tweet that you're referencing, I've gone a long period of time, that 2 years or however long that had been. And what used to be part of my like entertainment, like as a thing that I would do specifically for entertainment, I don't do that anymore. As far as, let's say, watching a comic book based film or television show, which is almost exclusively what I watched during that period of time, like up until, let's say, that time. Now, my form of entertainment is coming from different things, and it's all good. And I mentioned some of those, like being like video games and working on my business. Like that is what I'm getting out of, let's say, when I want to be entertained. That's more of what I'm doing.
Okay,
that was the point of the tweet.
So why do you talk about the other media then?
As far as like what you comics and what do you mean? Because I didn't say I've never read like comics. The comics weren't part of the deal.
Oh, okay. So why do you talk about TVs and movies then? You're right. I misread the tweet.
I talk about very specific things. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So I talk about specific things pertaining to maybe movies and and TV shows. It's not like me requiring. I'm not speaking about anything that requires me to watch it.
Okay, but
I'm very direct.
Well, wait.
When I talk about something, you can go watch my entire playlist full of these uploads.
So wait, when you do like a video on a movie or something, what do you just read off the cast? Do you just do like who directs it? Like if you don't have anything to add to it, what are you saying?
Well, it's not that I don't have anything to add. It's more of if I'm talking about something, it's more specific, right? It's like very direct. Like you can look at my I guess pull up my YouTube if you want and go through some of my videos where I'm talking about, let's say, referencing a movie or a TV show, right? You can look at specifically what it is that I'm talking about, and you can find what my approach is. And it has nothing to do that requires me to watch it. Nothing. I'm very precise, right? Back when I did reviews, I could do that, right? When I was doing reviews, because I was watching the material, right? So I could give full reviews and breakdowns and all that stuff. But because I don't do that anymore, I can't do this. So I don't.
Well, why even do something on it then if you're not going to watch the media? Why? What do your fans possibly have?
Because there's like a specific take. There's a specific take okay. Pertaining to like some.
Give me an example of only a take you could provide based on a piece of media you haven't watched.
Well, how about this? You go find a video that you take issue in me talking about it regarding TV and movies.
Eric, we're live right now. I'm not going to go through your backlog. Give me an example, man.
Well, that's not my problem. That's absolutely not my problem.
Dude, this is the tweet you made. This is the tweet you made. I'm trying to figure out why.
I explained to you.
Explain to me why I should listen to you on media.
You don't have to. You don't. I'm not gonna. I don't care for it. You to watch me like that, so I don't care to explain it.
Maybe a potential future fan will be watching. Pretend like I'm interested in watching you, and then I'm looking at this and I'm like, what the heck? Why would I listen to anything you have on media?
You are free to watch and listen to whoever you want. You are not under any obligation. I'm not holding anybody hostage.
But Eric, you're still not explaining why I should listen to your takes on media.
Because I don't want to. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to convince you to watch.
Why are you even talking to me then?
Because I have 2,300 people watching, and I'm going to make more money off of this than I do probably with any other video that I do this week.
Yeah, and you're going to look like an idiot too. But I mean, seriously, what are you doing?
I think you overstate your intelligence and your debate capabilities. You couldn't possibly make me look like an idiot. I'm gonna be completely honest. You're one of the dumber people that I've actually spoke to when I've invited them to have a live discussion with.
Oh well, that's good to know. I'm good to know I'm making an achievement.
I would say you're mid
I'm good. I'm proud to be noteworthy.
As far as like where you're at, like you're not anywhere in the stratosphere of somebody that I would say, oh, that person like actually challenged me on a particular topic and like owned me or something like that. You don't have the capabilities to do that.
Well, Eric, I have talked to one of your fans, and actually, that's like the best debate I've ever had. Talked to one of your fans. He was the most intelligent and insightful of the debates I've had. I guess that's not a huge bar, but I want to give you credit for that, buddy. Now, one of the things he told me that I didn't realize, because I always assumed you're a conservative, but he told me you're a libertarian. Is that true?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So your assumption was wrong.
Okay. Yeah, that's excellent. Oh, cool. I like it. So, as a libertarian, you have to love all this new representation in media, right?
What does libertarianism have to do with representation in media?
Because libertarianism, when it comes to a personal level, is just let everybody live how they want to live. So representation in media really lets people see how people live, and that's got to be great as a libertarian, right?
No, that has not. All right, first of all, libertarianism has nothing to do with that, and I have no problem explaining that to you. I would encourage you not to speak so like almost like a loud opinion on something that you're completely ignorant on.
Do you not understand what libertarianism is?
It has nothing to do with. Yes, I understand perfectly. Libertarianism isn't about social issues per se.
Yes, it
you're
is.
defining them. So just as I can find
Libertarian has a lot to do with social issues, dude.
your lifestyle. No, let me explain. I can find your views completely abhorrent, right? I could find your lifestyle completely abhorrent and still be a libertarian. I could find your lifestyle awesome, something that is I aspire to like live, right, and also be a libertarian. So this whole representation, that has nothing to do with libertarianism. Libertarianism is about non-aggression, right? That's what libertarianism is. So whether I like you or want to see your lifestyle played out on is completely irrelevant. I could not want to see that, or I could want to see it, and I could still be a libertarian.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm just double checking my facts here, but libertarian is to ensure one's entitlement to participate in civil and political life, society, state without discrimination or oppression. Civil rights include ensuring the people's physical and mental integrity,
what
life,
exactly
and safety.
What are you reading from?
This is literally just the Wikipedia thing. Protection from discrimination on the grounds such as sex, race, sexual orientation, national origin, color, age, political affiliation.
So you're reading the Wikipedia page. All right, can I explain to you what I am? All right, I'm gonna explain it to you. So what I am is I'm in anarcho-capitalism, which is like on a spectrum of what we view as modern libertarianism. Modern libertarianism has to do with the core principle of basically it's private property rights, right? Okay. Starting with self-ownership. Okay, and that is that you own yourself, obviously, and nobody has the right to, let's say, aggress upon you. Okay. And what the anarcho-capitalism side of it is that we don't make exceptions for the state. Sometimes you find what we call minarchist libertarians, and these are minarchists. These are people that would view that, let's say, a state should exist, but it should only be limited to, let's say, defense and like court systems, stuff of that nature. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to what I am as a libertarian, I just want to make sure that you understand I'm an anarcho-capitalist, right? So I am like to the fullest extent of a libertarian where I don't make exceptions for the state. So now you know how you define that, like, or what you kind of call that. I don't really even care, to be completely honest. I just want, for the sake of conversation, for you to know what the philosophy is that I subscribe to.
Okay, so you at least. Well, let's go ahead and agree. We both support trans rights. We both support gay rights. All that stuff, right?
I don't separate any of that. There's just rights or rights. There's only private property rights.
So you support trans rights and gay rights.
I support private property rights. There's no straight rights, gay rights. There's none of that. There's only private property rights.
Okay, so you're saying you support trans rights then?
I'm saying that I support private property rights.
Well, why do you keep on rephrasing it? Why do you keep on rephrasing it?
Because there's no such thing as straight rights, gay rights, trans rights. None of those things are a thing. And there's only private property rights. There's no separate form of rights. Like, as far as in the libertarian sense, what a right is universal, right? It's what it is. There's no separation of type of people and their rights. There's only private property rights, and that's it.
So what? Do you believe in the rights of property over people then? What are you talking about?
I've already explained this to you, that private property rights starts with oneself, right? And that is that you own yourself in your body. Okay. So that's what I believe in terms of private property
Would
rights.
you agree that a person has the right to pursue happiness in whatever way they can, as long as it doesn't inflict harm on themselves or others?
Yes, absolutely. They can live out their life as long as they aren't using aggression upon other people.
I agree. So you, like me, support trans rights and gay rights and all that jazz, right?
I support private property rights, and that's it.
But dude, those groups of people I just explained to you, they're pursuing happiness.
Those groups of people have private property rights.
They have private.
That's it.
Okay, so
the same rights that anybody else has.
Why are you resisting saying you support their rights then?
6'8" people have that.
Why are you resisting saying you support their rights? I mean, as a libertarian, you should have no problem with that.
Yes, I support private property rights. That's it.
Okay, so but you and I 100% agreed right there. that you support people's rights to pursue happiness in whatever way possible, as long as it doesn't cause a harm to themselves or others, right?
Yeah.
So tell me how gay rights or trans rights infringe on that.
I don't know how you define that, but I'm only saying there's only one set of rights. There's only private property rights. That's it. There's no, it's not separated by what kind of person that is. Whether their sexuality is completely irrelevant to that.
Okay. So you're fine with trans people and gay people pursuing happiness in whatever way.
Yes. Okay. They are free to do that, just like a straight person is. And their sexuality is wholly irrelevant to whether or not they have private property rights.
And then, because they're underrepresented media, it must be great to see them, get a bit more equal representation.
All right, that bridge was largely completely nonsensical because we went to talking about political philosophy, and now we're talking about entertainment.
But Eric, it's all connected. Irrelevant. It's all connected,
no, it's not.
dude.
No, it's not. It's not connected at all, actually. It's not at all connected.
Okay,
it's completely irrelevant to that.
So explain to me how it's disconnected then.
Easily, because one, we're talking about like the concept of rights, right? The other, we're talking about entertainment.
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, we're talking.
How someone is represented in entertainment is completely irrelevant to libertarianism, right? Again, so whether someone is represented or not is wholly irrelevant to that. That's irrelevant to libertarianism, right? Irrelevant. Like the point is that
do you
not
have
someone in media?
Do you not?
Let me explain.
Okay.
You can have someone that's in media, right?
Okay.
And there could not be a movie based on their their likeness, right? There's not a whole lot of 6 foot athletic bearded hairy black men in certain roles, right? Like myself. Okay, so there's not that many people in a role, but that's irrelevant to whether or not that is like conflict with libertarianism, is what I'm saying. So whether there was a overrepresentation, underrepresentation, that is irrelevant to whether or not it is permissible, let's say, in a libertarian social order, if you will.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So, so you are aware entertainment would be considered private property, more or less, right?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, the individuals that own said entertainment, yeah, that's their private property.
And you support private property rights, correct?
Yes.
So you would be fine with representation in media then, right?
No, I can be fine or not fine with the concept of representation, and I could still be a libertarian.
What? That's not an answer, Eric.
No, that's absolutely an answer, because I could say
no, it's not. That's literally a non-answer.
It's an easy answer. Let me answer. It's an easy answer. I could say I don't ever want to see that ever when I watch a movie. I could also say I always want to see that. Right? Those are two diametrically opposed. You follow me?
Okay.
Two diametrically opposed positions, right?
Okay.
And both of those guys that hold that position, or let's say if it was me in this case, can be a libertarian. Both versions of me can be a libertarian. If I say I do not ever want to see that, I could be a libertarian. If I say I always want to see that, I could still be a libertarian.
All right. So what would be the problem with representation in media then? Every time I brought it up, you resist it. So I seriously want to know what your issue is. Because it seems like all your political philosophies seem fine with it. So what is the problem?
Problem as far as what? I'm not understanding. What are you asking?
We've already established media as private property. You support private property rights. We've already established that, you support people pursuing happiness in whatever way they see fit. Maybe they want to pursue happiness and representing themselves in media.
It's not about support or not. No. It's simple as that person has a right to do that, to do whatever it is that they want.
Okay.
So as long as they don't aggress upon another individual, then it becomes unrightful. It's not right.
Whoa. What?
Then you're impeding on someone.
When are we talking about ingressing on other people? Can you give me an example? What are you talking about?
I said aggress. No, I'm saying that so as long as that person does not aggress upon someone else, they are free to act in whatever way that they are free to act.
Okay.
They can do whatever it is that they want. However, on the flip side, other people and how they respond can be the same and follows by and abides by The same exact rules, meaning that if they like it, they're free to like it or not like it, right? That's libertarianism.
Okay. So why do you feel the need to call it out all the time?
Call what out?
Representation in media.
What do you mean call it out? Like what specifically about my position on representation that is it that you have a problem with? I don't understand. And what the hell does that have to do with libertarianism?
Well, libertarianism is all about, like, civil rights is a big part of libertarianism. Would you agree?
No. There's no such thing. There's only private property rights.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ. Okay, so private property rights actually makes it more clear, because then we're talking about media, which is private property. So what is why do you always feel the need to call out representation in media? Why do you have an issue with Miles Morales? I want to know what your issue is. I'm trying to peer into your brain.
Have you seen any of my videos that I've gone through my issues with say a character like Miles Morales?
I've seen a handful of your videos.
Okay, so you would know the answer to that question.
Well, I haven't seen your Miles Morales one, so educate me. What is the problem with Miles Morales? I know lots of people love him.
That's fine. Tokenization. That's it. That's simple.
But people love him.
Tokenization is lazy. That's fine. People love him.
How's it tokenization though? It's like he's his own character.
No, he's not. He's Spider-Man.
All right. So what?
Yeah, he's not the first Spider-Man.
So what?
That's tokenization.
Do you have an issue with Barry Allen?
Barry Allen is not tokenization. He's not original, but he's not tokenization.
How's he not tokenization? Wait, the race matters?
Yes, that's what tokenization is. I've defined it. I have a video, a dedicated video.
Okay, so
it's dedicated. Hold on, I'll explain. I guess you haven't seen any of my material. So I have a long form video explaining exactly what I mean when I say tokenization. And we're talking about race, sexuality, and gender swaps pertaining to these characters.
Okay.
So that's what we're referring to when we talk about when I say like a tokenized version of another character. Barry Allen is white. Wally West, except the new 52 version is white. So both of those characters may be unoriginal. I'm not going to argue anybody that says Jay Garrick is the original Flash. I will not argue against that. However, I wouldn't call them the other characters tokenizations. So this is why I say all tokenizations are unoriginal, but not all unoriginal characters are tokenized. Very simple.
Right. So out of curiosity, Miguel O'Hara.
What about him?
What would you define him as?
I define everybody that's not Peter Parker as an unoriginal Peter Parker.
So you would define everyone who's not Jay Garrick as an unoriginal Flash?
I would define. I have no problem with people saying that Wally is not an original Flash. It's fine with me.
No, what about Barry Allen?
Perfectly
you have no
fine.
problem with people not calling him original Flash?
Same exact thing.
Okay,
same exact thing. Why? I have no problem with people saying that they're not if someone was like, "Hey, they're not original."
Okay,
they're knockoffs of.
I mean, that's true. Say,
okay, cool.
But so would you consider Barry Allen and Miles Morales both equally bad then?
Not necessarily. No, I would consider both of them unoriginal characters. And generally speaking, unoriginal characters are bad.
So tell me. Unoriginal characters are bad flat out?
Let me explain. Let me explain.
Okay.
No, let me explain. Not all unoriginal characters are equal, right? Not all. These are positions, by the way. There's no gotcha here's or anything. I'm just reiterating things I've been saying over the last, 4 years or so that I've been talking about this type of stuff. 4 or 5 years. Nonetheless, not all tokenizations are equal, right? I've said that, for example, She-Hulk is a better handled tokenized character than, let's say, other tokenized characters.
Okay.
They're not all equal.
So why? So do you like Miles Morales then?
No, not actually a fan.
How many comic books of him have you read?
I've read a lot of it, actually. Quite a few. I read the entire original. It wasn't original. It's his volume of the Ultimate Comic Spider-Man. I read all that stuff.
All right. So I'm trying to figure out. So your entire problem is that he's just tokenized, correct?
You're saying problem as if I don't know, you're kind of using that term loosely. That's not a book, let's say, or a character that let's say I'm fond of.
Okay.
It's not.
Well, lots of people are. Why did you feel the need to make a video?
That's fine. That's their business. They're free. They're free to do that. They're free to do that.
So why do you feel the need to make a video attacking him? What makes I don't understand it. I'm trying to figure out what makes Miles Morales so. Well, I'm trying to figure out what makes Miles Morales so objectively worse in your eyes than someone like Barry Allen.
Well, I've already explained what my position is on Miles Morales in several videos. He's created to be a knockoff box check type of character. That's specifically why he was created. Yes, one of the laziest depictions of a character.
But lots of people have actually, the general consensus on Miles was that, when he started out, it was a little rough. But as the years have gone by, they've really gotten him down. And, by the time that new movie came out, he was a great character.
You're free to have that position.
All right. So I'm just trying to figure out what makes Miles Morales so specific for you to home in on, but not someone like Barry Allen.
It's not important for me to hone in on. It's just that he definitely, after the Spider-Verse movie, was a topic of conversation. So I've talked about him. I've been asked about him a lot. He was a topic of conversation. So I talked about him.
Barry Allen has been the main Flash depicted in movies forever. Why is he not a topic of conversation? There's way more movies with Barry Allen Flash than Miles Morales Spider-Man.
What's the issue though? Am I supposed to do videos on every single character ever?
Well, you seem to just not really like unoriginal characters. So what makes Miles Morales so particular for your hate and not Barry Allen?
First of all, it's not exactly true. The thing about Miles Morales is that he was specifically created to check a box.
Okay.
That was his.
But he was for the most part, the general consensus is that he's really evolved and become his own character.
Consensus is. I'm telling you what my position is because that's what you asked.
All right. But, that's the thing. You're talking about, he's here to check a box, and I'm not even 100% sure what you mean. What do you mean, check a box?
I mean, that he was specifically created to be a black or have black Spider-Man.
Okay, so your issue with Miles Morales over Barry Allen is that he's black.
It's not, this isn't my position on Miles Morales has nothing to do with Barry Allen. That's something you injected.
Well, you're the one that brought up that your issue with Miles was that he's unoriginal, and I just brought up that Barry Allen's unoriginal. No. That wasn't just that's dumbing the whole thing of what I said down. You mean bring up comic book history is dumbing it down? That's legit comic book history.
No, I'm saying that's not my position. Is what I'm saying. What part where am I losing you there?
Well, what are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on Johnny Storm?
What about him? Him not being the first human? Is that the point that you're trying to make?
Yeah, he's unoriginal too.
All right, there are plenty of unoriginal characters. I don't know what point that you're trying to make.
Well, I mean, you've pretty much already said your whole issue with Miles is that he's black, despite the fact that overwhelmingly people like him. So why don't you just not read his books if you don't like him?
He was a lazy creation, and that's why I'm not necessarily fond of him. There's a lot of creative talent in comic books. And I do feel that people should be able to, as opposed to tokenization, in this day and age, with social media, with all this connectivity it is that we have, people are able to connect with a lot of creative people. The fact that, whether it be with that character or plenty of others that's been created in the last whatever, the fact that they resort to trying to copy characters that already exist.
Well, that's kind of the state of media we live in. That's just kind of the state of the media we live in.
Well, that's fine. I disagree that should be a norm. If that's your position, that's fine. I don't like that as an artist.
Okay. Can you name me the most popular comic book character from the last 20 years?
I have no idea. I would have to
the most popular one created in the last 20 years.
I have no idea. I
mean, you know the answer.
No, I don't. How about you tell me? Tell me.
The most popular comic book character created in the last 20 years?
You tell me, and I don't know why you're asking me that, but you tell me.
I mean, it's obviously Miles Morales.
You think that Miles? All right, that's fine. You can think that Miles Morales is the most popular character created in the last 20 years.
Name a more popular one.
I don't.
Isom doesn't count.
Fine.
Isom doesn't.
I don't care to.
You don't care to. More like you just don't want to admit that he's popular.
No.
And you've essentially already admitted your whole issue with him is that he's black.
No, that's not what it is that I said. And please do not say dumb shit like that. And that's the last time I'm going to tell you. I'm right here speaking to you, and don't put words in my mouth, especially considering who
It's what you said, man.
That I create. No, that's not what I said. That's what you wanted me to say. So that's the last time I'm going to tell you. At least be respectful enough to not put words in my mouth. I'm not doing that to you. So be respectful enough to not put words in my mouth. I have never claimed that. So please don't claim.
If your issue with Miles isn't that he's black, then what's your issue?
My issue, I've already explained, is that in this day and age, with all of this creativity it is that we have in comic books, in media, whatever it is that you want to call, they opted, as they have with, he's not the only tokenized character that exists. They've opted to make a rehash of a character that we have been seeing for decades, right? Longer than I have been alive, not longer than my mother, but damn near. We've already seen it, and they opted to rehash that. I think from a creative standpoint, considering that there's all these ideas that are floating out there, the last thing in this day and age that artists, people that actually care about any level of creativity, should be doing is rehashing characters that we already have seen. That is my issue with it. It's been that way. He was specifically created to check a box. And what I mean by that,
what box is he checking?
It's not about, they created him to that he's a black character. That's not the issue. Obviously, there are other black characters. I created one, by the way, created multiple ones, by the way, that can catch on with the audience. So the issue isn't that. The issue is that they are giving, it's more sloppy seconds kind of approach.
Okay.
That's my issue.
Well, it's sloppy seconds. I'm still trying. So your issue with Miles isn't that he's black, but that he's tokenized. What makes him tokenized?
I've already explained that he's not the first Spider-Man, and he was specifically created to be basically a half black Spider-Man. So a knockoff of a character that we have seen for several decades.
Okay, so just like Barry Allen, just like Jon Stewart, just like Johnny Storm. There's so many characters this. Legacy characters are built into comic books. So why are you taking particular interest at the more recent ones that are just happen to be a bit more diverse?
No, like I've said, all tokenizations are not equal. Now, I will say in this day and age, I've explained this multiple times as well. Let's say what people have to spend, be it on marketing, be it on getting these books out there or whatever it is. The money that they spend, they don't have to spend anymore. Social media has completely changed the game. So we have a level of connectivity that we previously did not have. So in order to get a new character out there, it's a lot easier than what it was before. Okay. So because of that, it is especially egregious, whatever term you want to use, to try to make knockoff versions of characters that already exist when you can, if these people are as creative as I like to think that they are, just create a completely new original character and have them stick. So a lot of my issues with that is more from and from the perspective of a creator. And I've made that abundantly clear.
But you are aware, I was just naming off a whole bunch of lists of legacy characters. Legacy characters are ingrained in comic book history. There's so many legacy characters.
What exactly is the point?
My issue is, why do you care about the new legacy characters? What's so uniquely bad about the new legacy characters?
What do you mean? I just explained to you what my position was. What about
you're saying you want original characters, and cool, and you made one, cool. What's the problem with the new legacy characters though? Because legacy characters are a comic book tradition. What do you mean by new legacy character?
What do you mean new legacy character? Are you talking about knockoff versions? Is that what you're referring to?
Okay, so you understand what a legacy character is, right?
Yes, I'm asking you for clarification. Can you answer what the question I just had?
Well, I'm trying to understand how you are asking what a legacy character is. A legacy character is simply
I am
a character.
saying, what do you mean by new legacy character? If they're a legacy character, they wouldn't be new.
What? No, legacy characters are characters that carry on the legacy. You understand that, right?
Yes, I understand that, but if it's a legacy character, the character itself has been there and it's ingrained in comic books, as you just said. So what do you mean new?
Because there are new characters created to add on to the legacy. Please don't tell me you're this dumb.
So no, it's not about, I'm asking you, because I know the term legacy and what it means. I am asking you for clarification. You're using two diametrically opposed concepts. So when you say new legacy, you're essentially
yes, they are a new addition to the legacy.
It's not. It wouldn't be a legacy.
You are going. You are
in that sense, unless they have been ingrained, and maybe some of these
Eric,
characters.
You are being so obtuse right now.
No. That's not the case. I am simply explaining to you how those concepts are diametrically opposed.
How they're
Listen, dude. What problems do you have with my position on the characters that are being created? What is the issue?
I'm just trying to figure out why legacy characters have existed throughout pretty much all of comic book history, and now all of a sudden these new ones that happen to be a bit more diverse, these ones you don't like.
My position on characters in comic books, knockoffs, and them being unpreferable, not preferable. I've been consistent on that. I have not deviated from that. That has been my position, be it the characters, no matter when they create. Mm-hmm. They're always going to be the original ones. I will always prefer them. I prefer better ideas. I prefer new ideas as opposed to just creating knockoff versions of the character.
Okay, but I mean, you're a comic book fan, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're a comic book fan, you know that the legacy characters are built into the very foundation of comic books. So I'm just trying to understand how you can not like new characters added to the legacy, but still consider yourself a comic book fan?
Yes, I just explained to you why, especially in this day and age, why I prefer new characters being created as opposed to knockoff versions of old ones. What about that did you get confused on?
Okay, so you like all the issues you have towards characters like Miles Morales are also issues you have with characters like Barry Allen, like Johnny Storm, John Stewart. You have all the same issues. Not necessarily. So what is the big difference?
I just told
you. They all would fall under that knockoff definition you just gave me.
Well, yes, and that's true. I've also explained to you that not all knockoff characters are equal, right? I've said, for example, She-Hulk is a knockoff character of Hulk. It's implied in the name. She is my favorite by far.
Okay.
You probably put Supergirl up there.
So you like the new She-Hulk series then? That was pretty good. It was pretty comic accurate.
I haven't read the new She-Hulk or watched the new She-Hulk series, and nor have I read the new.
I thought you were a fan. Why didn't you check it out?
Because
Dan Slott said it's the most accurate one ever, and he's read more She-Hulk than anybody.
Fine. And he's certainly free to have that position. That I haven't watched She-Hulk. I'm not going to.
So if you're a fan of She-Hulk, why didn't you watch it?
Because I'm not a consumer that feels like he has to consume every single thing.
Well, wait. You're just talking about being a comic book fan, and then you're going to say
yes.
What defines a consumer then?
Because you're asking me why I didn't watch it just because it exists.
Well, you said you're a She-Hulk fan.
Yes, I explained exactly that. I don't buy new She-Hulk books, for example. I don't buy any Marvel or DC books, for example. Do I stop liking the material that I read just because I don't read the material in the future?
Well, in general,
how many people that don't read new material that are like fans of comic books? Do they stop being fans just because they don't consume everything that comes out?
No, you don't have to consume everything. But how many live action She-Hulks have there been in existence? This is like unless they did something in the old Hulk series, this is probably the first one. So I think as a She-Hulk fan, you'd be interested.
No, I don't. I'm not interested. I'm certainly not going to support Disney. Not interested.
All right. So you seem to have an issue with Disney. So what's the issue with Disney?
I don't support companies that continue to make material that I'm not interested in.
Okay.
On top of that,
then why do you talk about their stuff?
They made it abundantly clear that where exactly it is that this company stands, right? Especially using children's-based media to try to do whatever weird stuff it is, like they did, like with their reimagined Disney stuff. And they are talking about the whole not so secret gay agenda and all that sort of stuff. I'm not interested in that. And a company that was target to do stuff like that, I'm not interested in.
Eric, you're not sounding like a libertarian. You're sounding like a conservative.
A libertarian.
A libertarian, you'd be all fine with Disney, whatever they want to do.
No. That's not what a libertarian does not mean I have to like each and everything. You have absolutely no idea.
No, I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm just saying you'd be like, you won't really have a judgment towards it. You just let it go.
Disney is free. Disney can do it. I don't have to support it. That is my freedom as a libertarian.
I'm not saying you have to support it even.
Otherwise means that you have absolutely no idea what the concept of a libertarian is. Libertarianism does not mean I have to.
As someone who claims to be a libertarian, I'm shocked you don't know it.
Say what?
As you claim to be a libertarian, but you clearly don't even know what libertarian is. You're just espousing conservative talking points.
I've defined it directly. You had to go try to look up a Wikipedia article to get your information as far as what libertarianism was.
I'm just double checking my facts here.
No. You're not double checking anything. I defined it to you directly, and I didn't need a Wikipedia to tell me what it is that I believe.
Hey. I just find it interesting that your definition of libertarian happens to go exactly with conservative talking points.
Adult, man. Say what?
Your definition of libertarianism happens to align perfectly with conservative talking points.
All right. Do conservatives believe in the state?
If it's convenient, conservatives honestly don't believe in much. They just believe in whatever it's convenient.
Yes or no? Do they believe in the state? Do conservatives believe in the state?
Well, that's the funny thing about being conservative. They really don't have much in the way of beliefs at this point.
So how can my beliefs be aligned with them if I have beliefs and they don't?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not even sure you have beliefs. You really don't seem to have any. Otherwise, listen.
I've explained to you exactly what my position is. Mm-hmm. It seems like you have a guy made up in your head of who you need me to be in order for your positions to be valid. But I have expressed, especially in a conversation that we had about the concept of libertarianism, I defined it for you directly. There was no confusion or anything. Mm-hmm. That's my position.
So
you're saying that I don't have a position, which is objectively false.
But it always seems to align with conservative talking points.
All right.
That's a weird thing.
You say conservative. Why do conservatives have a monopoly on a particular position?
Dude, you're getting too abstract. What? Give me a position example.
You just said my positions are nothing but.
You're talking about. I guess we'll go with the example you brought up. The Disney gay agenda. What exactly is that? I'm specifically referring to someone that worked with the Disney company. Oh.
That specifically stated that. I wasn't saying that they have a gay agenda. I was saying that the person specifically stated, and they said it tongue in cheek, my not so secret gay agenda.
So a person says a statement tongue in.
I believe it was called Reimagine Disney.
Yes.
It was an internal all hands on deck meeting. And I think it was actually the writer of the Proud Family, if I'm not mistaken. She specifically stated that. So I'm repeating what she said. I'm not making it up. I'm not saying Disney has a gay agenda. I'm saying that that's what they said.
So why bring it up?
Because you asked me why I don't support Disney.
Yeah, you said you don't support them because of the not so secret gay agenda, and now you're acting like
specifically them.
Now you're acting like you don't care. So pick a lane, buddy.
Specifically, there's no confusion here. I'm specifically referring to why I don't, because it's targeting children. That's my issue.
How Give me an example.
Well, that's what they said. That's what they said. They were talking about the media.
So a random employee says something tongue in cheek, and that's targeting children.
Yes, that's what they were saying.
You need to give me a bit more on that. What are you talking about?
I just already told you that I believe it was the writer of the Proud Family that specifically was stating that. I've done videos on this, or you can go look it up yourself and you can research.
So a random Disney employee says something tongue in cheek, and now they're targeting children.
And then on top of that, Bob Chapek, who was the CEO at the time, right?
Okay.
He spoke about them supporting. They were talking about this Florida bill and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and they got in trouble for supporting that, which was a big conservative talking point.
Bingo. So
that was a big conservative talking point. As a libertarian, I don't know why you care. As a libertarian,
why am I required to not care because I'm a libertarian?
Because that's not what libertarian is. That's what conservative is.
All right. Libertarianism is not what conservative is or is not. You understand?
But you are what conservative is. That's what all your talking points seem to go back to conservatism. If you were a libertarian, you would tell me trans rights.
Let's stick to the goal. Let's stick to the goalpost. Let's talk about libertarianism. Why was what I said? How is that in conflict with libertarianism?
What, the don't say gay bill? Because that would be your own definition would be your own definition would that essentially that'd be private property rights, and the company could do what they want then.
Companies are free to do what they want. The don't say gay bill had nothing to do with companies though.
Yeah, but Disney's support of it did.
Right. Yeah, supporting the state is not anything that I'm in support of, whether it be conservative or anything.
But that's the thing. Disney got in trouble for being in support of it and then backed off.
What do you mean in support of the don't say gay bill?
Yeah, they got in trouble because they were funding politicians that support it, and then they backed off.
Wait, no. That's not the issue here, though. The issue was that they felt like they didn't fight, I guess, hard enough to be in opposition of the actual don't say gay bill, as they're wrongfully calling it, the parental rights bill. That's what I'm referring to.
Why do you care so much about the don't say gay bill?
I didn't say that I did.
Well, then why do you bring it up?
Because we were just talking about Disney, and I was bringing up the fact when we were talking about this whole sexuality thing and children. I'm talking about Disney's support of that. That's why I brought it up. I was speaking about the CEO and Bob Chapek.
Yeah, you're talking about why you don't like Disney, and you bring up the don't say gay bill. Now you're saying you don't even care about the don't say gay bill. So why do you care about?
No, that's not what I said. No, I'm saying that's not the core issue of what we're dealing with. We're talking about the targeting of children pertaining to the sexuality nonsense. That's what we're discussing.
Explain to me how the don't say gay bill targets children's sexuality.
That was what the whole thing was about.
Well, explain it to me. Explain it as if I don't understand, because...
Oh, my God. So the parental rights bill, right, was talking about not teaching children in school these particular ideas of sexuality. I believe it was up until, I forget what grade, 4th grade, right? That was what that was about.
Yeah.
Do you support teaching children about sexuality and all that sort of stuff? Is that what you support?
Well, what aspects?
Are you willing to go on record and say that?
No, Eric. What aspects of sexuality did they want to discuss? What were they talking about, though?
They were talking about everything regarding sexuality.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were. What are you talking about?
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were. That was specifically what it was about.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. It was not taking the pick of teaching people about sex, teaching children about sexuality. What are you talking about? That's what it was for. It
was all about gay teachers and trans teachers just existing and revealing that status to their students.
It was not. You're lying. That was not what the parental rights bill said. Anything about gay people teaching people. That was not what it was about. It didn't object to that or anything.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was about, dude.
No, it didn't. I'm saying you are objectively lying. That is not the case. It was not like banning gay people from teaching children. That was not what it said.
It essentially was. It would. I mean, technically it wasn't,
No,
but it really was.
No,
Realistically, it
you're
was.
You're lying. You understand that you're lying.
I think I think you need to do more research on that bill, dude.
No, I think no. It's not that I need to do. I tell you what. I give you homework. Go do the homework, right? And you explain to me where in the bill that it disallows gay people teaching children.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't specifically do that. But what it does,
tell me how it does.
I'm getting to it, Eric. I'm getting to it. What it does is it inhibited them from talking about like if they're gay and they have a same-sex partner, it inhibited them from bringing that up in class.
It inhibited anybody from talking about sexuality in the class. It doesn't matter if they're straight or gay.
Okay, do you think they're going to enforce it on straight people? Do you genuinely believe they would enforce it on straight people?
I don't. First of all, I think public schools should be abolished. What we're specifically talking about is the language of the bill.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, so it doesn't single out
Eric,
gay people.
Do you think they're going to enforce it on straight people? Do you genuinely think they would ever enforce it on straight people?
If a straight person was teaching kids about their sexuality like second graders, they belong on the fucking prison.
Well, what do you mean about talking about sexuality? Because there's a huge difference between saying, "Hey, this is my spouse, and we're married, and we're a couple," and playing around bananas. What are we talking about, Eric?
Why are you talking about your spouse to children?
Why are you talking about? Because you may not even be talking about your spouse to children, but it may be a life story that they're involved in, or maybe you just have a picture of them up.
All right, I tell you what, I don't support anybody talking about their personal sexual life with children. I don't care.
Whoa. We're not talking about like hardcore sex. We're just talking about a story with your spouse.
I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna repeat one more time. Straight or gay, there is no appropriate reason why a teacher should be talking to a second grader about sexuality pertaining to anything. It does not matter whether they're straight or whether they're gay. That is my position.
So what? Like they're not allowed to talk about their spouse?
No, I don't want you talking to spouse.
Should the parents of the kids not be around them because they're spouses?
That's their children. What are you talking about? Yeah. So
what's wrong? What's wrong with people knowing that spouses exist?
Wait a minute.
What is your issue with that?
Why, so you think that it is appropriate and I want you on record. You need to understand what territory you're entering into. Why on earth do you think it is appropriate for people to be talking about their personal relationships like that with second graders? On what level or what grounds would that ever be appropriate?
Well, what's wrong with talking about like your spouse or someone close to you or significant other?
That is your
job. How is that inappropriate?
Your job as a teacher is not to be talking about what you're doing in your personal relationships.
How is that inappropriate though? That
is not what you're doing. You're teaching children on particular subject matters, not your spouse.
Well, maybe you have an anecdote that you think will contribute. Teachers have all different styles.
You should be able to keep your personal relationships out of your anecdote. And I don't care if you're gay or straight. That is my position.
Well, I'm trying to.
Weird.
I'm trying. Well, why do you think it's weird that people have that people are?
You have children?
Yeah, of course I have children. Do you have children? Do you have children?
You don't see anything weird.
Eric, do you have children?
No, I don't. You
okay.
don't see anything weird. I'm asking you, as a father, right? You're a father, right?
Yeah, I'm a father.
So you don't find it weird that someone that is teaching your kids on their subjects are talking about their spousal relationship? You don't think that's weird?
I'm not saying that it comes up specifically, but might come up. It's an aspect of their life that's important to them, Eric.
It's important to them, and that's fine, but it has nothing to do with what they're teaching your children. Why on earth would you be talking about your spouse, especially and what this don't say gay bill? That's specifically what it's referring to regarding sexuality. So it's not just like spousal shit anyway. I'm asking you, why on earth do you find that an appropriate thing for people to be talking about to children that aren't theirs?
What, the fact that they have a significant other?
Yes. Why on earth would they? Why would that ever even be a thing that they're talking about to children?
There's a million reasons something like that might come up, dude. A million.
Right. Why would that be appropriate to talk about?
Why would it be inappropriate?
Because that is your personal relationship. That has nothing to do with what it is you're doing.
So
you're teaching.
Well, what if a person just has a picture of their spouse on the desk and the kid asks about it during lunch?
Personal. That is a personal. That's you say whatever you need to say to let the kid understand you're not talking about that. That's it. That's it. It's simple as that. Like, hey, I have.
Well, why do you act? Why do you have to act weird about it though?
That's a family member.
Why do you have to act weird about it?
That's a family member. First of all, again, that's a family member, and that should be where the conversation stops and starts.
What's wrong with talking to the kids during lunch?
Why are you talking to the kids, second graders, during lunch about your spouse?
Because it might come up because they're an important part of your life.
Weird, bro, that is weird. Under any context, that is weird, man.
Dude, do you have a significant other?
I'm married.
Okay, do you talk about your wife occasionally with your friends?
I don't talk to my wife. I don't talk about my wife to children. I don't make it a point to do that shit.
Well, what if you worked around children all the time?
I wouldn't be talking to them about my fucking wife. If I'm working with
why not? Are you ashamed? Why not? Are you ashamed of your wife? Why wouldn't you?
No, I love my wife. I'm not teaching them about my spouse or what happens in my personal life. If I'm teaching a child about anything, it's pertaining to that subject matter. That's all I need to do. The fact that I'm even having this conversation is bizarre.
I think it's bizarre as fuck too.
I'm the one that's weird.
You're acting like you're like ashamed of having a significant other, and like you wouldn't discuss that with them.
I'm acting like it's not appropriate to be talking about children, my spouse, with my children, someone that I'm married to with other children. That's weird. That's fucking weird. Under any context, it's weird.
Why? Like, do you think it's inappropriate for married couple, like the parents of the kids, to be around them? Because that's the exact same thing.
No, it's not. A teacher is not
literally
the parents,
same
bro.
thing.
No, it's not. It is not the same thing. It is completely different, dude. You're not like if
so
I have
what?
A child and my child
do you
is
think
school,
children grow up through life?
You're not my parent. You're not the parent of that child, bro.
Do you think
you're not the parent of my child? That's not the same.
Well, I think it's interesting because I actually have children and you don't. And you seem to think the healthy thing for children is to think there's one married couple in the world and it's their parents and no one else.
No, that's not what it is that I said. I said that it's not the teacher's job to be teaching them about that, talking to them.
Well, it's not. It's not even teaching them about it. It's literally just they exist and they might occasionally come up.
That's what the Don't Say Gay bill was particularly talking about, curriculum.
No. It was just, just that certain things might exist, like gay couples and trans people.
You shouldn't be talking about trans people to second graders in the classroom.
Why not?
You can do that. You're a child. You're the parent. You can do that. If you want to do that shit, by all means, you're free to do that. Children
Why not? Trans people exist. Why not talk about them?
You can talk. I just told you can talk to them. You can talk about it yourself with them.
Well,
you're the parent.
Why is it a big deal to teach them in class then? They exist. They're facts.
Second graders should not be taught about that weird shit.
Oh, so being trans is weird shit?
Talking to second graders is weird shit about sexuality. That's weird shit.
No, wait. We're not talking about sexuality. We're just talking about trans people here.
Yes, we're talking about sexuality pertaining to children in the classroom.
We're just talking about trans people. I'm really confused about this. What is sexual inherently about a trans person?
What does it mean to be trans?
It just means you identify as a different gender than your birth gender.
Okay. So you're saying that gender and sexuality are two different things?
Well, I'm not saying that they are two different things.
What are you saying? Are they the same or are they different?
They're different.
Oh, so you're saying sexuality and gender are different?
Well, no, I'm telling you, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a fact that they are.
Okay. So all right, I got it. So you're saying, factually speaking, sexuality and gender are
well, wait.
So
I feel you're
gender,
using the term.
You're not speaking
wait. You're using the term
sexuality.
sexuality, which is weird. We're talking about sex and gender.
Yeah. So sex and gender, that's fine. You're saying are two different things.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I reject that, but that's fine.
Well, why do you reject that? It's a fact.
I reject that concept.
Why?
Because they're not the same. Like you're saying that they're not the same. I'm saying that they are.
Well,
and as I'm using them in conversation and going back to the original goalpost. Hold on, going back to the original goalpost because we've fucking veered completely off. We're talking about Disney, right? Disney is clearly in support of people in the classroom teaching sexuality to second graders. I'm not into that shit. I don't support that, and that's not what it is that I would ever support. And therefore, a company that went out of their way.
I think it's weird to keep on calling it. I guess like teaching them that gay people exist. I guess, but well, I mean, we're just talking about literally just teaching them that these type of people exist and that that's okay.
I'm speaking in the context of second graders, which is what the Don't Say Gay bill was dealing with. Right? I'm speaking in that context. Bill or no bill, I find that inappropriate. Private company, school, whatever, teaching that is responsible for teaching children about sexuality is not something that I support.
Well,
it's that simple.
I have to. Okay.
Teaching second graders about sexuality, I think is fucking weird.
You seem to be treating it like it's sex ed or something. We're literally just talking about acknowledging that gay and trans people exist. That's it.
That's the Don't Say Gay bill was talking specifically about teaching about sexuality in the classroom, or rather in the curriculum.
Well, it's pretty much just acknowledging that gay and trans people exist, and the teacher shouldn't suffer penalties for acknowledging that.
All right. The bill was not against gay people being able to teach children, which is what you wrongfully stated it did.
Well, yeah, but we all know it would be used to that effect.
Why do we all know that? All right, it's been passed. Have you heard of anything happening like that?
So are you...
Wait,
Eric.
The bill's passed.
Eric.
The bill's passed. Have we gotten any evidence of that?
Eric, would you think it would ever be used against a straight person?
Can you answer my question? Have we gotten any evidence of that happening?
I'm not. I can't research it on the spot, Eric. But I'm asking you. I'm
gonna tell you right now.
I'm asking you genuinely your opinion, in your heart of hearts. Do you think it would ever be used against a straight couple?
I think yes.
You think they would use it against a straight couple? Because like that.
Yes,
that's because. You know, I've known my teachers have been married for years when I was in school.
I'll explain again. Whether it be state or not state, I think it's inappropriate to be teaching sexuality or about your spouse, personal relationships, any of that stuff with second graders. I think that's inappropriate.
So you think it's inappropriate for? So you think
if they're straight or gay.
So you think it's inappropriate for second graders to know about any couples outside their parents?
No, no. I think it's inappropriate for teachers to be teaching them. I just told you that.
What's
Teachers
the issue?
should not be having those discussions with children.
So you think it's inappropriate for children to know about like that couples exist outside their parents?
No, they can know about other people existing. Inevitably, I hope they come from a non-broken family. Are you with your children's? Are you with your children's?
So you're saying? So let me get this straight. You support?
Are you with your children's mother?
No, I'm divorced.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. So, anyways, so you support the Don't Say Gay bill, correct? That's pretty much what I'm getting, right?
No.
Well, wait, why are we even talking about it if you don't support it? What the fuck are we doing?
Because I have an ability to look at things. I have an ability to look through things. So we're talking about children. Do you have custody of your children?
We have shared custody.
Oh, shared custody. Okay. All right. Anyway, my position does not rely on the state. So I get to look at things through a lens of what you do or do not support. I don't care. This is why I'm able to separate it. Like whether you want the government to be forced to do it or not, the position is the position. You see what it is that I'm saying? I know it's very difficult to state.
But why do you care? You're essentially saying I don't support Disney because of a gay agenda, then you backed off. Now you're talking about you don't support them because of Don't Say Gay bill, and now you're backing off that. So what the hell?
No. I didn't.
Do you believe in anything?
I didn't back off.
Really? So what's your stance on the Don't Say Gay bill?
My stance is that children should not be taught sexuality by teachers if they're in the fucking second grade.
So what's your stance on the Don't Say Gay bill? Should it pass or should it not pass?
I just told you that. If it were
I'm asking you specifically where you stand on the bill. Where do you stand on the bill?
I'm telling you my position on this. When dealing with government schools, I would prefer when dealing with government schools that I feel should not even exist. Public schools should not even exist. But in dealing with the reality of the situation, I would hope that they prevent people teaching sexuality to children in their schools that are subsidized by taxpayers. That's my position.
All right. So why? I'm just trying to figure out. So you're for big government in schools, then?
No, I just specifically told you if it were up to me.
Then why are we even discussing this?
I want the government out of schools altogether.
Okay.
If it was up to me, public schools wouldn't exist.
Okay, so schools don't exist. That sounds like a great world to live in.
Schools don't exist. I said public schools don't exist.
Oh, we would have private schools. Are you aware of how poorly private schools have been running?
No, I'm actually not.
Oh my God, you're advocating for private schools and you haven't researched it? They're doing terribly, dude.
All right, and how are they doing terribly?
Why? Like I said, I don't have the stats right here, but you need to research that shit.
You just rattled off of something that you were so confident in, but you don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, it's been a couple years, but dude, I wasn't expecting to bring it up.
How are they doing terribly? How are they doing terribly?
Well, lots of them, they're just taking money and essentially giving it to the CEO. That's the biggest thing they're doing. They're just a vacuum for corporate money, trying to get as many students as they can.
Terribly. What are you referring to? You're not preferring the curriculum.
Well, I'm just preferring on their priorities. They're not focusing on teaching children. They're focusing on sucking up government money.
What do public schools do?
Public schools, public schools are very heavily government regulated. That's part of the point of them. The government. So the private school, how is a private school sucking up government money? What do you mean by that? Because that's what they do. The government still largely will pay for these public schools through subsidies and stuff like that.
Private schools?
Yeah, private schools.
What kind of subsidies are we talking about?
I mean, they've been all over the place. The school vouchers, shit like that.
That's a charter. I'm talking about private schools.
Yeah. Okay.
Charter schools and private schools are not the same thing.
They're essentially the same thing. What are you talking about?
No, they're not. No, they're not. A charter school and a private school is a different concept.
Okay.
I know you're Googling it right now. You should.
I'm totally Googling it because I'm trying to figure out what the heck you're talking about. Okay, so subtle differences.
Not subtle difference. A private school and a charter school is a different concept, man. These words have meaning, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going all over the place right now.
I'm not talking about charter schools. I'm talking about private schools. How are private schools sucking up government money?
Like I said, I don't have the time to do the research right now.
You don't know. You're just saying, it's like you're repeating what other people say, but you don't actually know your positions.
Oh my God, you're accusing me of repeating what other people are saying. You're regurgitating the conservative talking points. You don't know about the Don't Say Gay bill.
What conservative talking point am I perpetuating?
Eric, you just spent the vast little bit complaining about,
nothing I said about the Don't Say Gay bill was
I'm
incorrect.
going over it, Eric. I'm going over it. So you spent the last little bit complaining about you don't like Disney because they have somebody joked about not so secret gay agenda, and then I pushed you back on it, and then you backed off, then you went to the Don't Say Gay bill.
Stop. I never backed off from that position. That shit is still weird. Teaching children, that shit is still weird. I never backed off of that position.
So you have an issue with a random Disney employee kind of tongue-in-cheek saying, we have a not-so-secret gay agenda, admitting it's tongue-in-cheek, then that's the reason to flat-out boycott Disney?
Well, whole entire
that's the thing.
reimagined...
There's actually shit to go after Disney for, and you guys never pick the right ones. It's weird.
Well, you might not agree, and that's fine. You can go support Disney if that's what you want to do. That has nothing to do with me, though. You're free to do whatever you want. What the hell does that have to do with conservative talking points, though?
Because those are conservative talking points verbatim. Dude.
All right, so why do you think conservatives are so superior that they own positions?
I didn't say they're superior.
Yeah, even though I am not a conservative and I have my own opinion, you're referring to it as conservative talking points. You are operating as if they set the tone. They monopolize the ideas. Why?
Well, that's a good question, Eric. Why is that?
I can't speak for you, dude. You answer it. You can't turn the question on me. You're the one that said it.
All I am saying is that you are regurgitating conservative talking points.
Huh?
All I'm pointing out is that you're regurgitating conservative talking points.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. You're defining my position as conservative talking point, and I'm asking you, why do they get to own the position? Why can't I just have my own position as a libertarian? Why does it have to be conservative talking?
Dude, you're welcome to own the position, but I'm just pointing out that when it comes to conservative talking points, you're running pretty lockstep with them.
Okay, so do you accept that conservatives don't own points?
Do conservatives don't own points? They kind of do. It depends.
Okay, so is it possible for me to have a position that's not owned by someone else?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Sure, but I'm just pointing out that you're lockstep with them.
All right, so what does lockstep mean?
It means you have the same points they do.
Okay, so conservatives drink water, right? I'd imagine there are conservatives that drink water, okay?
Everybody drinks water. That's not talking points, Eric.
It's almost as if other people can do the same thing and it not be owned by them. You wouldn't say that it's a libertarian point to hydrate, would you? That'd be stupid. So why does a conservative just say, all right, if they have a position, and again, objectively speaking, the conservative doesn't have the position that I have on public schools. Pertaining to public, they don't. Objectively speaking, they don't. You're closer to conservatives on, or the Republicans at minimum. You're closer to Republicans on positions pertaining to public schools than I am, because I want them completely eliminated. Republicans don't run on that position.
They're working towards it. They're working towards seriously defunding them.
They are even talking about the voucher program, which does the same shit. It's public schools being still monopolized by the state, but your child being able to select which one they go to. I don't want them owned at all. Your position is closer to their position than mine is, objectively speaking. So you're regurgitating conservative talking points more than I am. Do you think the government should run schools? Do you think the government should run schools?
Well, I actually do believe that we should have a strong public education.
All right, so that's a conservative talking point.
No, it's not. No,
yes, it is.
Not
yes,
remotely.
Yes, it is. They don't. Conservatives do not run on the. There's not one conservative that is running on an abolition of public schools. Not one. There's not one that's running on that. Your position is a conservative talking point.
What I found shocking is how you don't understand politics or talking points at all. You just don't.
No. See, what you're struggling with is the fact that your own nonsensical logic was thrown back at you. Your position is closer to conservatives than mine is. So I get to call your position a conservative talking point. So,
Eric,
because that's a position that they have.
You just spent the past, however, defending the "Don't Say Gay" bill. Is that a conservative
that's not what I did.
talking point or not?
That's not what it is that I did.
That is exactly what you did. I like how you're arguing facts.
All right, so what the "Don't Say Gay" bill says is the same regardless of whether or not I agree with it.
So do you agree with it?
I don't agree with public schools existing. So no.
So what's the point of you? So you're against the "Don't Say Gay" bill. So why even bring it up?
Now we're back to the original goalpost, and that is I'm talking about the position of schools being. I don't care if it was public or private. Schools teaching children about sexuality is not something that I support.
Schools.
It's not difficult to understand.
So do you not support children knowing that gay or trans people exist?
I support teachers not teaching them about sexuality.
Well, what if their parents don't teach them about it? And, it'd probably be good if they know they existed.
All right, so how about this? When they are older and you want to speak about...
Well, wait.
Starting to understand these concepts, but we're talking about... And that's what they don't say.
Well, you talk about understanding concepts. We're just talking about people existing. Do you think children should know that black people exist?
Okay. I'm going to explain this one more time, okay? So with that being said, when they get older and it becomes more appropriate to talk to them about these differences and whatever, fine. However, what the Don't Say Gay bill covered was pertaining to sexuality. That's what it was. That was the part that people took issue with, was pertaining to sexuality taught to like second graders. That's what it was.
Do you think second graders shouldn't know that gay people exist?
I think that teachers should not be teaching them about sexuality in second grade.
Do you think they should not know that gay people exist?
I'm going to repeat one more time because I don't know if it's acoustic.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what you're saying by sexuality. Why don't you just answer the question?
I have already answered the question, and
You're not answering the question. You are going out of your way not to answer the question.
I'm talking about second graders being taught in their curriculum by their teachers regarding sexuality. That is not something that I support.
Okay, so do you support second graders knowing that gay and trans people exist? That is all I'm asking.
And I am telling you, and I'm not moving away from the goalpost. We're talking about schools. We're talking about teachers in those schools teaching students.
Please do not say I'm against teaching sexuality. Please just answer the question.
I'm not answering it any better.
God, Eric, what I found interesting is that you are such a coward. You will not stand by any of your positions. You'll even argue some of these positions, and then you won't stand by any of them. It's kind of shocking.
What position did I not stand by?
You didn't stand by the Don't Say Gay bill after arguing it.
What was my position on the Don't Say Gay bill?
You essentially were in support of it, and then you got a little bit too pushback, and you went back on it.
You cannot quote me any time during this where I said I supported it. But
you argued for it, Eric. You're still even arguing for it now.
I'm arguing the factual matter pertaining to the bill. And I said absolutely I prefer that teachers in any school for that matter be barred from being able to talk to youngsters, second graders. This is what we're talking. We're not talking about high schoolers, bro. We're talking about second graders, about sexuality.
Well, what about sexuality? What about sexuality do you not like? Because I'm literally just talking about acknowledging that gay and trans people exist. Because I think children of all ages should know those things exist.
You're talking about gay, trans, straight. None of that stuff has anything to do with in schools.
I think it's important they understand those things exist, that way they know they're normal.
And I think that's fine. And I think you're weird for thinking that second graders should be taught that.
Why? Tell me why that's weird. We're talking about facts.
That's weird because they are at a very vulnerable age in which they should be learning about other things, not sexuality.
But we're not talking about teaching them about sex. We're just we're teaching them about gay and trans people existing. That's it.
Yeah. Why are we?
What is inherently sex? What is it?
All right. So why on earth would it be appropriate for a second grader to be having conversations with children about gay and trans things?
Because they exist.
Or even straight.
Because they exist.
All right. So just because. All right. There's a lot of things out there that are a thing.
Okay.
But you imagine, and you're a parent, right? That's the sad part about it, is that you're a parent and you're acting as if a second grader, you're operating as if there's no differentiation between a second grader and, like, let's say a high schooler. We're not talking about high schoolers. We're talking specifically about second graders. There's a lot of things that
we're not
exist.
talking about. We're not talking about sex ed. We're just talking about how certain types of people exist.
Why on earth?
Because they exist.
All right. Again, other things exist too.
Yes, but we're talking about people that they will encounter in their lives.
All right. Do you think everything that exists is appropriate to be taught to a second grader?
Well,
Everything.
Well,
Just because it exists.
I mean, it really depends, but we're literally just talking about just
right, so
basic human beings.
If it depends, then there's certain things that you would agree that are not appropriate to be teaching second graders in school.
Well, you're going to have to explain how being trans or being gay is any more appropriate than being straight.
I don't need to, because they shouldn't be talking about that either.
But they're going to know about it because they have parents.
That's fine. Then they can know about it because of their parents, and that's cool. That's your business. But we're not talking about them just knowing about it. We're talking about curriculum. We're talking about children in schools.
We're talking about children in schools. I mean, why are you against them knowing that gay people exist?
I never said that.
Well, then what's the problem with them being brought up in school?
Because it's not appropriate for a teacher.
Why isn't it appropriate?
Because that is something that they need to be discussing with their parents.
Why?
Because that's their parents.
I mean, I agree. Their parents should bring it up to them, but if their parents don't bring it up to them, don't you think it's important they know?
If their parents don't bring it up to them, they'll learn. They can learn about it if their parents are putting them in a class in high school or whatever. That's fine. I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. I'm not deviating from that. I think it's best that we move on, because you're getting on weird fucking territory, wanting to talk to kids, second graders, about trans shit. Let's move back to the original.
No. I actually am real. I think you're getting uncomfortable here.
I think you're fucking weird with that shit, and that's fine. You can have that position. Let's move back to the original. No,
what is your issue? I really want to know what is inherently sexual about a trans person existing. Why are you making that inherently sexual?
I'm not making it inherently sexual.
Then why does it matter if kids know?
It's not about. I didn't say it mattered if kids know. We're talking about them being taught in school.
Yeah, no, there are people that exist, and I think it's important that type of thing be normalized so that kids see people like that as normal.
It's weird for trying to normalize talking to second graders about trans shit.
Ooh, why is it weird to normalize trans stuff?
Trans shit, straight shit, gay shit. I think that is weird to be talking to kids about relationships.
I think it's important to state
you're talking about
straight stuff is normalized. That's 100% normalized in our culture.
I think it's all right. I tell you what. You can have that position. I think you're fucking weird.
You don't think straight stuff is normalized in our culture?
You're going on record having that position. Okay? Let's move beyond that. Let's talk about what we were discussing before. What is your issue with my position on comic books?
On comic books? Wow, we're going way back. And I would still like to know why you're against children just knowing that basic people exist.
I've never claimed that I'm against people knowing other people exist. Let's get back to the comic book stuff where we started. What is your issue with my position on comics?
1 second.
Are you getting like marching orders?
Yeah, sure. I'm getting marching orders from George Soros right here. He's helping me out. I'm trying to figure out like what is inherently sexual about trans people. That's what I want to know.
All right, man. I'm not interested in talking about sexuality and trans and straight shit with children, about children.
Why does that make you so uncomfortable? I'm just talking about literally people existing.
I prefer not to talk about that anymore. Can we move on to comic stuff? All right, cool. Let's talk about the comic.
What's your favorite trans comic book character?
I don't have a favorite trans comic book character.
No, I find this fascinating. Wow.
So you're not a fan. All right, how about I start asking you questions? So you're not a fan of me. Obviously, you've thought to you disrespected me again. You called me a dumbass. You called me a piece of shit. And like I said, those are things that will. Hopefully we have the opportunity to be kind of at the same con, and we'll discuss kind of if those are positions that you actually.
I'm all for it.
We'll discuss if those positions are positions that you actually hold. Nonetheless. What is it about, like, because you've been on streams, if I'm not mistaken, disrespecting, down talking me. You don't think fondly of me. So what is your problem overall with, like, let's say how I approach comic books, how I approach my business and all that? Well, let's start working that stuff out.
Well, I find it interesting. So, well, here, let me. God, we're completely resetting things. So, yeah, you completely reset everything on me.
Yeah, I mean, you've been talking about y'all. I mean, just even surface level
Mm-hmm.
research shows you've done videos, you've been participating in streams, talking down on me. I figure you got plenty to
Mm-hmm.
talk about
Well, okay. I have a question for you. Why is Isom black?
because that was the way I created them
Why?
because I wanted to.
But why?
I just told you why.
I don't know. It seems kind of tokenized to me.
How? Who was the original Isom?
No. I don't understand why you feel the need to make a black character.
All right. So tokenized does not mean black character. That's not
Okay.
what tokenized means.
Well,
So that was a
obvious.
stupid statement.
Well, I feel like you're thinking that representation matters, right? Otherwise, why isn't Isom a white guy?
No, not. I don't think representation as it pertains to like race or sexuality. I think those are very like kind of superficial things to be like relating to other people upon. I think you're a very shallow person if that's what you lead with. To me, in all honesty, and I think there's far more interesting things about my characters as in comparison, like I guess to the race and stuff. I think that's not necessarily important.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. It's
Well,
not
what I
anything
think
I
is
lead with.
interesting is
So
how you're very quick to bash on women or black or minority characters, but then you make
I
one.
no, well, that's first of all, stop right there. Stop right there. My position is not bashing minority, black, or women or female characters. That's not my position.
You
Some of
just
my
manage to do it all the
favorite
time.
characters, I don't do it at all, actually.
Oh, then why do you go after Miles Morales?
I'm not going after Miles Morales simply. All right, let me say this: saying that I don't like Miles Morales does not mean I don't like black characters. Obviously I created, as you have acknowledged,
Yeah.
black characters. So obviously my position isn't that I have a problem with black characters. You're
Okay.
conflating the two. You're conflating saying that I may not like a character means that I don't like them because they're black, or I don't like them because they're a female, or I don't like. That's not the position, right? I have no issues with several female characters. I have no issues with black characters, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously I created two of my lead characters that I created. One's a black character, one's a female character, and just by sheer existence means that I don't have a problem with them. So that debunks whatever nonsensical position
What the
that you think
fuck?
it is
What?
that I have that I actually
What?
don't.
By their sheer existence means you don't have what the
Yes.
what?
Why would I create if I had problems with female characters? Why would I create female characters?
How many trans characters do you have in your comic book?
I don't have. I'll tell you what. Who knows? Keep reading.
Oh boy. Tell me a bit about Isom's motivations.
As far as what? Have you read the book?
Yes.
Motivations to do what?
That's a good question. I don't know. Tell me what was his drive? Why does he do what he does?
As far as what?
Dude, character motivations.
All right, you're using a very catch-all term. I'm asking you for a specific thing. Like, what do you mean?
Should be able to give me.
What?
You should be able to give me some basic character motivations. You've only written one issue, so give me some character motivations for why he does what he does.
As far as what? As far as what action in the book?
Oh my god! Just how? Like he doesn't even do that much in the book. Give me some basic character motivations. Like why does he?
No, I'm not. No, have you read? Let me ask you this: have you read the book?
Yes.
All right, so you read the book. So what specific action are you talking about in terms of you're asking why he's motivated to do it? What action did he do that you're asking why he was motivated to do?
Well, what does I'm asking about character motivations. Why does he do anything he does in that book at all?
Everybody does. Everybody. That's basic human action. Nobody's a robot. Everybody does certain things depending on how they process.
Yes, yeah. Characters have drive. They have ideas. Why is he doing what he's doing?
As far as what? Give me a specific
anything.
Action.
Give me pick your own example and give it to me.
I'm not giving you anything.
Give me an example.
I'll tell you what.
I'll give you an example. Why? You've read Amazing Fantasy number 15, right?
let's talk about. Go back to ISOM. What about it? Are you asking? What specific?
Wait. You've read Amazing Fantasy number 15, right?
What specific action are you asking pertaining to ISOM?
No. I'm gonna get stuck on this one. You've read Amazing Fantasy number 15, right?
Are you what? Let's talk about ISOM. You just asked me a question. Let's quit moving the goalposts. What specifically about the ISOM book is pertaining to like an action that you're asking about his motivations?
Dude, have you read Amazing Fantasy number 15?
All right, this isn't a gotcha. Can you please answer the question pertaining to ISOM?
It kind of fucking is. You're talking about being a comic book fan.
Can you please answer the question?
I am. What comic book fan hasn't read Amazing Fantasy number 15? Holy shit! Do you know what Amazing Fantasy 15 is?
There are plenty of people that don't.
Do you know what Amazing Fantasy 15 is?
There are plenty of people that don't know who Spider-Man is. Dipshit. We know that Spider-Man is in the Amazing Fantasy number 15. That's not a catch. That's not a gotcha.
Have you read it?
Hey, jackass. I'm asking you pertaining to ISOM. Let's focus. You didn't have a gotcha. You thought you had. And everybody knows. And even if they didn't know, that doesn't stop them from being a comic book fan. Spider-Man is not the only comic book fan. In fact, it's retarded in order to insist that just because someone didn't read a Spider-Man book, that means that they're not a comic book fan. There are other comic books, you would agree, right?
Yeah.
You would agree that there's other comic books, right? All right, so because there's other comic books, you cannot say, oh, you're a comic fan. You haven't read Amazing Fantasy number 15. If I didn't read it, it wouldn't stop me from being a comic book fan. Let's assume that someone started reading Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe when it first came out in like year 2000 or whatever. Let's assume that was the first Spider-Man book that they read, and they read all the Ultimate Comics line of Spider-Man. Then they would just as much be a Spider-Man or a comic book fan, even if they didn't read the freaking origin story of Spider-Man and what you're referring to. You thought you had a gotcha, like, oh, I think I got him now. He hasn't read Amazing Fantasy number 15. Jackass. I read it, but even if I didn't, that's not a problem. Now let's get back to ISOM. What specifically are you asking pertaining to ISOM in regards to his motivation? Is there a specific action that you're asking, and what you're asking, why does he do it? Give me a specific, and you've read the book, so give me a specific action.
I can't. I'm just trying to figure out how you could possibly call yourself a comic book fan and at least not be familiar with what happens in Amazing Fantasy number 15. That's just the reason I chose that is just because everybody knows that one.
No, everybody. Hey, believe
I
it or
am
not
absolutely stunned.
Hey, then you think that everybody likes? Do you think everybody that reads comics likes Spider-Man?
Probably not everybody, but probably a large portion.
All right, so let me see how stupid your position is. There are so many different comic books out there. There's manga, there's other Western comic books like French comic books and all that, and people kind of stick to their lane right there. By your nonsensical non-argument, right? It's illogical. It is very, very stupid. You're suggesting that someone's not a comic fan because they didn't read the Spider-Man first.
I am literally naming like the most famous comic book, probably possibly ever. Maybe Superman number one, but shit,
and that's fine,
Action Comics.
That's fine, but not everybody reads every book.
No,
some people don't even like.
But I think it's interesting how you didn't even like. Here's the deal, like, even if you haven't read it, you should pretty much know the basic story of Amazing Fantasy number 15. It's like the most famous comic book story ever.
But again, some people don't like that. This is why it's a non-point. Some people don't even like Marvel comics.
It's a hell of a point. Holy shit. Oh.
No, it's not a point. It's a non-point. Do you think that everybody reads Marvel comics?
Probably a lot. I didn't ask
you that. I asked you, do you think everybody reads Marvel comics?
There's plenty of people who don't. Do you think everybody reads ISOM?
All right, so if everybody doesn't read Marvel comics, right, and you said there's plenty of people who don't, okay, why on earth would you rest being a comic book fan on the origin of a Marvel character?
I find it shocking that anybody who would call themselves a comic book fan,
what I asked you.
dude, you called yourself a comic book fan, and you haven't read Amazing Fantasy 15, or at least looked into it.
I never said I didn't read it. I never said I didn't read it. I'm saying that it's irrelevant.
So have you read it?
What?
Have you read it?
Yes, I have read it.
Oh, okay. Yes. So why did it take you so long to answer then?
It didn't take me so long to answer it. I am saying that's irrelevant to the point that I made.
Because it really sounded like you had no idea what the fuck I was talking about.
Well, you're retarded. I've covered Amazing Fantasy 15 on my channel. So you're stupid. Objectively speaking, I've covered it. I've covered his origin. Everybody knows that, like Spider-Man, which I consider myself a fan, understands that what Amazing Fantasy, they understand him first getting his spider suit in that. They understand him wrestling in it. They understand him getting bit by the freaking spider, getting the powers in the first place. They understand why he becomes a hero, because Uncle Ben gets shot and killed. Everybody that reads Spider-Man knows that. It's not a secret. But what I am saying is completely irrelevant to the point that we're talking about ISOM, because even if I didn't read it, it doesn't stop me, number one, from being a comic book fan, because I don't reject manga fans being comic book fans because they don't like Marvel or DC. Back to ISOM. Now, I already explained to you. I just explained to you what happened in the book. So let's continue on to ISOM.
I think you're the one that just wikied some stuff.
I'm so shocked. I can't believe that, dipshit. We've already covered it on the channel. Now let's get back to ISOM. What specifically in regards to his actions? Have you read ISOM?
Yeah.
Have you read ISOM?
Yeah, you've asked it a couple times. Yeah. I've totally read it.
Times.
Well, now I'm kind of curious. What are some of your favorite?
No. Let's get no. This isn't one of those things where I like answer all these questions and you don't get to answer anything. Let's talk about you and your.
Fair enough.
What specifically about the book? What specifically about the book are you asking about?
All right, so I was asking to just give me a character motivation for Isom. Why does he go? Why does he look for Jasmine?
Because his sister asked him to do it.
All right. So why does he say yes?
Because he cares about his family, specifically considering that this is a family friend. And he knows that his mother would chew his ass out in the event that's all explained in the text.
So he's literally just looking for this girl because his mom would chew him out if he didn't?
Yes. That's a motivation. He cares about his family and how he...
No, that doesn't sound like he cares about his family. It sounds like he cares about his ass getting chewed out.
All right, so his sister is the one that asked him to do this.
Okay.
Right? He cares enough about his family, his sister, to even take this on. And he understands that, look, his other family member, his own mother, would chew him out in the event that he did not help this family friend who is a part of his life. He understands that, so that's why he goes on the journey in the first place.
So
that's all explained in the text. What I did isn't even implied. It's all explained in the text.
So his whole motivation... Are you
sure you've read it?
Yeah, I have. It's quite boring.
So why did you ask me that question?
Because I want to see if you could define anything, and it's really shallow.
Wait a minute.
You're just saying he wants to do things because other people are telling him to do things. But what does Isom want?
I just told you what Isom wanted.
What do you mean?
You asked me why he did it, and that's why he took on this mission.
But what does Isom want? Because here, I'll go back to what I was talking about. Amazing Fantasy 15. Why does Spider-Man go into that wrestling ring?
I just explained to you. You haven't read it, so you don't know. I do not. Look, jackass, we know he was trying to get money. We know that he was trying to get money to help his family. Is that not the reason? Exactly, it's the reason. Shut the fuck up. Let's get back to Isom. That's the reason. Shut the fuck up. Let's get back to Isom. Why did Isom say that he was going to go help his sister? See how I know? Oh, yeah, you stuck, right? You thought you had me. I just explained to you what happened. And my hands are right here. We don't need to Google.
Oh my God, the cope you're doing right now. It's amazing.
How's that a cope?
That's an impressive cope, dude.
How's that a cope? Quit giggling and being passive aggressive. How did it cope?
I think it's kind of entertaining myself. I love
man.
it.
Why did it cope? How was it a cope?
Can you name me some of your favorite comic books?
No. How was it a cope? How would I just cope? Was what I said about Amazing Fantasy and why he went to why he fought why he went to wrestle? Was I incorrect?
Well, yeah, it's a lot of stuff that you'd get from a Google search. So yeah. Good job, Google.
I'm not doing Googling. You're Googling. My hands are free. My hands are free. The chat is watching me. I have not Googled anything.
How many people have on your staff?
Why are you giggling like a schoolgirl? Why are you giggling like a schoolgirl?
Because I think this is hilarious. I mean,
why is it hilarious? What's hilarious?
Dude, okay, so prove me wrong. Here's your chance to prove me wrong.
No. What? No, stop. See, you have this weird thing where you think like you can make claims and you can giggle, which shows that you're not acting in good faith. You can make claims, you can be passive aggressive, and then we're supposed to just skirt beyond it. What exactly was I coping about?
You're coping about the fact that you had no idea what Amazing Fantasy 15 was. You had no idea.
How did I not know when I just explained it to you?
Oh, you had no idea. You had to look it up, man. It was pretty sad.
How did I have to look it up? All right. How did I have to look it up? How did I have to look it up when my hands are free right now?
All right. Well, how many people do you have on staff?
My staff is not with me. I'm at home.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, nobody sent it to you?
No, I'm at home.
Mm-hmm. I really want to know.
There's no. You understand that you just made shit up. And also, again, we've talked about Spider-Man, Amazing Fantasy, number 15, multiple times on my channel. Okay, we talked about that because I've had to set the context for it, right? So I've talked about it, for example, in tokenization videos, and I've talked about it in Miles Morales' videos. So the evidence that exists that I've not only read it, I've gone through the damn panels in videos that exist prior to today. Okay, that's not an opinion. That is a fact. So you got it wrong. You assumed that I didn't know. You thought you had a gotcha. And you're giggling because that was all you had to cling to. You got it wrong, and this is why you shouldn't show your ass. In other words, like I was saying in regards to ISOM, let's move backwards just a little bit. In regards to ISOM, why does ISOM, since you read the book, why does he say that he is going to go to the city to go talk to Fontano? Why does he say that?
Why are you asking me about the plot points of your book?
I'm asking you. You said you read it, so I want you to read it back to me.
Why?
Because I want to. You asked me a question pertaining to his motivations. I'm asking you about a question regarding the book that you claim to have read.
Yeah, no, I read it a couple months ago.
So what? So
Eric,
you read a couple months. What did ISOM say?
You wrote it.
No. Please, all right. I just asked. Can you please answer the question? You got to be acting in good faith. You've been asking me all these questions. I've answered them. I'm
sorry, Eric. It's been a couple months. I didn't bone up on my ISOM trivia.
Okay, so you don't know. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't bone up on my ISOM trivia before this.
So you're asking about motivations, and you don't know about the book that you claim to have read.
Dude,
that's called acting in bad faith. You do understand that.
Oh my God, that's I like that. Let's move the goalpost a bit more. Eric, I really want to know. No name some famous comic books that you've read.
No. No, this isn't going to be a quiz. Let's talk about myself and ISOM.
Wait, you just tried to quiz me on ISOM, and I'm just asking. Name some of your favorite comic books. Legit, just name some of your favorite comic books.
No, we're not. No. We're going to go back to the original goalpost. We're not doing a quiz here. Let's go back to the original goalpost. The reason why we're all here is because you have an issue with me. So about me and how I do things. We're talking about you spent a lot of time, and you'd agree with that, right? Streaming about me, talking down on me, tweeting at me. What are your particular issues pertaining to myself and my company that has you continuing to down talk myself? Why do you continue to do that?
Because you continue to down talk everybody else. You contribute to a toxic environment. Eric, if you were just an independent comic book creator making a comic book, guess what? More power to you. Awesome. But you have this toxic environment, and you push that toxic environment. You call people autistic, knowing that your fans will go after them.
All right, so you're wrong. Number one, I call people autistic, and the subject that we're talking about admit to themselves. We already discussed that. So what do you mean by toxic environment? What is it that you mean by that?
Well, why are you always bashing on Disney characters that you don't even watch anymore?
What characters have I bashed on?
Well, we've already brought up Miles Morales. How many more examples you want?
Again, but those Miles Morales books that I was talking about, that I talk about, are characters that, were created before Disney acquired Marvel.
Well, true, but I mean, most of the books have been published under Disney.
Not necessarily, no.
What do you mean, not
That's
necessarily?
That's a relatively new phenomenon. For Miles Morales, no, because Miles Morales has been out since, what was that, 2008?
Was it that long? I was thinking 2011.
Or was it? It might be 2011. It was that Ultimate Comics book. So when I don't know when exactly that was.
Wiki. I don't want the video game. Oh.
It might be 2011. Even then, like the acquirement of Disney is of Marvel. Yep. That is a relatively new phenomenon.
First appearance was 2011.
2011. Okay, so it's a relatively new phenomenon.
All right. Well, when was the Disney acquisition?
What was that, chat? When was the Disney acquisition?
Yeah.
When it went all the way through. Okay, so around the same time. Everybody's giving me it. I got. Okay, so around the same time. Okay, bet. So 2011, he comes out. That's Ultimate Fallout 4, right? You're on Google, correct?
Okay. Yeah.
That's Ultimate Fallout 4. That's 2011, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ultimate Fallout 4, he drops. That's 2030. Is it 2030? What day? Chat's giving me so many different years. What is it? 2013? Is it 2010, 2011, 2009? 2012 Star Wars. So it's 29. All right, so cool. So Disney is the entire acquisition went, all right, 2009. Gotcha. Okay, perfect. So the Disney acquisition was during basically the entire run for Miles Morales Spider-Man. Okay. Yeah. Roger that. So my issue, so your issue is with me having an issue with Miles Morales then. And he's a Disney product,
and I brought up him as an example of Disney. Yeah.
Okay. So what issue is it that you have, like specifically, as far as my problems with Miles Morales?
Well, it seems like your issue comes down to the fact that he's black and nothing else.
Well, so when I explained to you let's backtrack. When I explained to you earlier, why did I say I had a let's say an issue with Miles Morales, so I didn't prefer his existence?
You're the one that complains about him. I'm
okay,
really confused
so I explained
why you keep on
I'm trying to see
asking me about stuff why you keep on asking me about your positions.
Because the reason I'm asking you, because I'm asking if you retain the information, because you're asking me the question that I've already answered.
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
I mean, you do have to admit, Eric, you don't actually answer questions.
I answer your question directly.
You just walk around in circles.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I haven't. I told you specifically what my issue was with Miles Morales.
And your issue is essentially he's a black character. We broke that down already.
That's wrong.
Okay, then what's your issue?
I already explained that he's a tokenized version of Spider-Man.
And why is he tokenized?
Because he was created to check a box, and there's already a Spider-Man.
What box was he checking?
He was checking the box of being biracial Spider-Man.
Okay, so you dislike him because he's black?
No, he's unoriginal, and he was created to check a box.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's lazy, considering there's a lot of creative people that can create original characters. Instead, they're wasting talent on rehashing characters that already exist. That is my problem. And why is that such a problem? Why can't? All right, am I obligated to like every single character?
No, you're not obligated to like one, but I don't understand why you have an issue with someone like Miles Morales. But again, like, we're going back to where we already talked. Why are you finding? Well, why don't you complain about the tokenization of the Flash with Barry Allen?
Barry Allen's not tokenized. That's why he's not a race change.
That's right. Your issue with Miles isn't that he's tokenized; it's that he's black.
Well, that's why. That's what makes him tokenized. That's not why.
Nice.
I'm not saying that. Like, yes, that's what makes him tokenized. I've already explained that.
Nice.
Nice what?
Nice. I mean, the fact that you're just saying that your issue with him is that he's black, it's great.
That's not. No, my issue is that he was created to check a box, and that box happens to be pertaining to race. But I like black. There's other black characters that I like. So obviously, it is patently. So hold on, stop. Let me finish my statement. It is patently false that I have an issue with black characters because I like other black characters. You understand that, right?
No, that doesn't necessarily sync up at all.
How does that not sync up? If I like, let's say, Black Panther, or I like Luke Cage, I can be fond of those characters.
Mm-hmm.
Why? That would mean that I clearly don't have an issue with a character being black.
Name a black character. Right? Name a black character you like that was created within the last 20 years. Not Isom.
I'm not against Blue Marvel existing. I'm not against, let's say, even Naomi. I said Naomi was this decent when she was first created. I guess I don't know if she technically be biracial. Silencer was a decent character that was created that was relatively new as well.
Okay. So, I'm still trying to figure out, like.
So you understand? All right. So you understand that? Okay. So there's characters. So
I mean, but here's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, your whole complaint about Miles is essentially that he's tokenized, and he's tokenized because he's black.
Well, he's tokenized because there's already been a Spider-Man.
So just like Barry Allen.
Yes, and Barry Allen and I told you earlier, I'm not arguing with someone saying that he's unoriginal, but not all unoriginal characters are tokenized.
Okay, but why is the tokenization an issue? Why don't you just critique the character motivations or something about the character?
Because tokenization is an issue. The tokenization is an issue because it's lazy.
Well, Barry Allen would be even more lazy because he's just another white guy.
Well, I wouldn't say he'd be more lazy, but yeah, I'm not going to argue against you saying. You see, you're thinking that I'm going to say, well, that's different. I'm not. I've already explained that to you. He's an unoriginal character. The only difference is that he wasn't race swapped.
So
that's it. So? But that's the difference. That's
why does that inherently make a character better or worse?
I didn't say that it did. I'm saying that we're talking about the definition of what is tokenization.
I mean,
with Spider-Man, he was specifically created to do that. Like, they led with that. He wasn't like a character that just happened to be black. The reason why he was specifically created, Axel Alonso. You know who Axel Alonso is?
Not off the top of my head, but go ahead.
You don't? Oh, yeah, it's such a big comic fan, and you don't know who the freaking editor was with Marvel. So it's crazy how.
Hey, I've read Amazing Fantasy 15.
When I asked Axel Alonso, I told you what happened in Amazing Fantasy 15. You didn't know who Axel Alonso was. Nonetheless, Axel Alonso specifically talked about this, in which he explains that you had a biracial president, right? And they thought that they were killing off Spider-Man in his own universe, or not in his own universe, in the Ultimate Universe. And they thought that, hey, why not the next one be biracial like our president? Okay. And he was talking about how he has a kid.
So what's wrong with that?
Axel Alonso, and he was talking about how he has a kid that can finally see someone on the Hispanic side. Hey, they have a last name of yada yada. He was specifically created to check a box. That's why they made him. They led with that. They wanted a biracial Spider-Man, and that's why Miles Morales was created. And I think that's lazy.
So what? He's his own character now.
No, he's not. He's Spider-Man still.
So what? He's his own version of Spider-Man. What's wrong with that?
All right, that's fine. I think that's lazy, that he is a version of one of the most notable Marvel characters that exists.
I mean, we've already established you don't really know much about Spider-Man, so why do you care?
Actually, no, we didn't. We didn't establish that. I didn't know much about Spider-Man. That's a claim that you made. Mm-hmm. Because you brought up Amazing Fantasy.
As you 15, sputtered out when I mentioned Amazing Fantasy. Yeah, it was a great moment.
No. We talked about how it was irrelevant. Let's get the topic corrected. We talked about how that was irrelevant to the point being made. Just because someone hasn't read, though I have, because I covered it on the channel, hasn't read Amazing Fantasy 15, I wouldn't be dumb enough to claim that they're not a fan of comic books, because I know comic books span across multiple genres, and Marvel isn't the only comic book.
I would at least expect you to know what it is. You just sputtered out,
You now know what my position. You now know my position. You now know what my position is on Miles Morales and why I feel like he is lazy. Why is there such an issue there that you have a problem with me just not me more so preferring original characters as opposed to tokenized ones?
Well, you see,
why is that such a problem?
I can understand that, but here's my issue, because it seems like you exclusively focus your hatred on characters that are minorities or women.
Okay, so like who? So you said Miles Morales, right? So if the character was white and straight, it would be fine for me to, let's say, knock the character, right? That's what you're saying.
No, I'm fine with you knocking the character. I'm just not fine with you knocking the character for being black. And the fact that you go after characters that are minorities and women all the time shows a pattern.
Pattern of what? That I don't like tokenization?
Nah, that it shows a pattern that you're probably you're probably courting a conservative audience.
Okay, so all right, let's assume that I was courting a conservative audience. What's the problem with that? Why do you have such an issue? Do you not think that?
Because it tells me you're not being honest. It tells me that you just want to court your audience and that's it.
Why do you think why is it a problem that, let's assume that it was true? It's not, but let's assume that it's true. What specifically, before I ask my follow-up question, what specifically is the problem with conservatives reading comics?
No,
why do you have a problem with conservatives reading comics?
Don't. That's a weird thing to say out of nowhere. I've never said anything about having an issue with conservatives reading comics. Well, you said that I'm courting conservatives, so even if that's true, though I'm not a conservative and I'm not courting them, what if I did? What's the problem? Well, if you're a good old-fashioned libertarian and you're not courting conservatives, why do you have such an issue with trans and gay people?
What, you can't answer a question with a question. I'm asking you why. Let's assume that I did, and I don't. It's not. But I'm asking you, for those that, let's say, are making comics that are for a conservative audience, what's the problem with that?
That's a weird random question. You can do that. I don't care.
No, it's not a weird random question, because you just said I'm courting. Your issue with me is that I'm courting a conservative audience. I'm saying if I did, what specifically is the problem?
Dude, you can court conservative audiences, but I have an issue with you targeting and essentially pushing a bigoted angle.
Bigoted how?
Bigoted by always going after women and minority characters.
All right, so let me get this straight. What color is Isom?
Isom's black.
Okay, what gender is Yaira?
Wow. This is really fascinating. So Yaira's a woman, but you're
all right. So hold on. All right. So you got the. All right.
So Eric, I didn't say you went after all characters like that. Hold on. But I am saying you're picking your targets very selectively.
Isom's black. All right. So Isom's black, right? And Yaira's a woman. And how do you conceptualize a world where bigoted conservatives, as you just said, supporting by the tens of thousands the characters that have the makeup as such?
Because, I mean, you're pushing an angle, dude. I mean, that's what all this is.
All right. So you see how that doesn't make sense, right?
Can I ask?
Right, hold on. You see how that doesn't make sense? Right? No. Hold on. The goalpost is right there. You said a conservative you mentioned that courting conservatives, and then you said this bigoted angle. Mm-hmm. How on earth can you say that it's a bigoted angle when the comic book that I created is based on a character or two characters, right? Were the lead characters of the book that I created were of the makeup that you just espoused. You just said what their makeup was.
It seems like you were really doing a good job checking those, getting those check boxes filled in, Eric.
No, I am asking pertaining to your position on the bigotry. You understand that's nonsensical now, right?
Hey, I'm just noticing who you go after.
No. Can you answer that question? You understand that's nonsensical, right? That if they are bigots, why on earth would they support a book who has, as indicative, right here, a black person on the front of it? How can you reason with that position?
Because this is a grift. I mean, I don't know how else to define it.
Okay. So see, that's just not even an answer. You can't. You're not making any sort of sense. It's a grift. That makes no sense. It means that the audience can't possibly be bigoted.
So
they would not. Why on earth would a conservatives that supposedly have such an issue with minority characters, right, and female characters? Why on earth would they support a book that has a black person and a woman on it?
Because you're pushing a political agenda, dude.
Okay, so they only support it when it supports the politics. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So they're not. So that means it's not bigotry. So
I mean, you're pushing an agenda through that book.
What book is pushed in ISOM? All right. What agenda is pushed in ISOM? You just make that statement. What agenda is pushed in ISOM?
It's not necessarily an agenda pushed in ISOM, but you push an agenda through your channel, dude.
No, we're talking about ISOM. You said
I don't give a shit about ISOM.
Okay, so this audience all right, so you don't give a shit. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But you're saying that you have a problem with this audience or this toxic environment. What did you call it? Toxic environment?
Specifically, what I have a problem with is bigots.
All right, so you have an issue with bigots. Like bigots, how? What are these bigots that you have a problem with that pertain to me? Who do they have a problem with?
I have an issue with people who always push, finding issues with all these women and minority characters. Like, listen, if you want to do an honest critique of this stuff, you can, but that's not what I'm seeing.
And minority characters includes black characters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have black characters. We have female characters. Okay, so, and you're saying that I'm the one pushing bigotry in that regard?
You push dude, you push your toxic agenda. Why are you always going after women and minority characters in Marvel and DC?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this. One of the best-selling comic books recently was the bisexual Superman comic book, where his son, John Kent, became Superman. What do you think of that book?
I didn't know that was... I remember
that was one of the best-selling books. That was one of the best-selling books. What do you think of it?
It was one of the best-selling... All right, to my knowledge, it was one of the... Like that book that they did, their sexuality changed, or let's say that he was bisexual. From my knowledge, that went... that was at, like, the chart. Like, it was decent on that chart, and then it fell off, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, they're doing a reboot because number one, sell more.
Yeah, but I'm saying before, yeah, exactly. I think they're doing a reboot because, like, if I'm not mistaken, it only sold like, I know that annual like was at the bottom of after that.
Dude, it's done a whole bunch of reprints, tons and tons of reprints. And then, one.
Okay, but where are they at on the sales?
Well, why are we even talking about sales? I was just simply asking.
You just said
I was simply asking what you thought of it.
I haven't read the book.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, what's the most recent comic book you've read?
Like of Marvel and DC?
Just anything.
Oh, well, like anything, it would have to be probably... What was the last book that we read? It was... For Marvel and DC, it probably was Thor. It was Thor, for sure. Thor. Yeah, it was that... Thor. Yeah, it was the book with Donnie Cates, where they linked up with was it Black Winter was returning or whatever? I believe that's what it was called, and Silver Surfer was in it. Do you remember that book?
No, I don't keep up
you
with
remember
comics
that
particularly well.
Oh.
But like,
wait a minute. You don't hold on. Wait. What do you mean you don't keep up with comic books pretty well?
I would consider myself just a moderate comic book fan. I'm more of a movie fan.
Oh, so you're not a comic book fan? You wouldn't call yourself a comic book fan?
I would consider myself kind of a moderate.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's cool.
What would you like? What were some of your all-time favorite comic books?
I liked in recent years. I'll say I enjoyed Detective Comics Rebirth, going into the DC universe. I really enjoyed that. That Bat family with it was obviously Batman was at the hurl, but you had Red Robin, spoiler. Not Swamp Thing. What's his name was part of that. Batwoman was obviously part of it, and not Black Cat. She doesn't go by that anymore. Orphan. Cassandra Cain was part of that as well. And yeah, I like that run of Detective Comics.
All right, so
Clayface. I don't know why I was drawing a blank on that. Clayface.
Who's your favorite Robin?
I don't know. I don't particularly have one.
So you don't have any favorite Robins?
Anyway, let's get back to the ISOM and the whole bigotry situation. So this whole bigotry thing.
Who was Robin in that book?
In what book?
The book you just named. Who was Robin?
The Detective Comics book?
Yeah.
Well, it was a Red Robin. It wasn't the Robin. It was Red Robin. That's Tim Drake.
Okay.
Actual Robin wasn't really part of that in the beginning, and he was in it, and that's Damien.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what are your thoughts on Damien and Tim Drake?
What about them?
I mean, they're just legacy characters add on to the thing, so obviously they're cheap ripoffs, so you must
yeah. Not all Robins are original, right? I prefer, and I've said this many times before.
I mean, Robin's just an extension of Batman anyway. Batman's the only original one out of that whole cast.
Like I said, well, I wouldn't say that. I would say that, for example, Grayson becoming Nightwing is more preferable to him being Robin to me. But let's talk about this whole bigotry thing.
No, wait. So, I thought don't you prefer the original? Wouldn't Dick Grayson be your preferred Robin then?
Nightwing is the original. Nightwing is the original.
But why wouldn't Dick Grayson be your preferred Robin?
There's no knockoff. I don't want knockoff Nightwing. I like Dick Grayson becoming his own character in Nightwing.
So it's okay for it's okay for Tim Drake or Jason Todd to be Robin.
No, I never said it was okay. I prefer that they didn't keep going through all of these Robins. I would prefer that. I like the characters being their own character. I just said that. So let's get back to the bigotry.
So wait, do you prefer Dick Grayson as Robin?
No. Let's get back to the bigotry.
No. Wait, we're going back to this. Do you prefer Dick Grayson as Robin?
No, we're not going back. We are going back to this. So this whole bigotry situation, like you claimed of my audience, that this whole bigotry situation, and I of course vehemently disagree with that whole thing. So you think that I guess you said of minorities, right? So black people. So you're basically saying I'm bigoted. I'm bigoted against myself, right?
I'm saying you're pushing an agenda, most likely for money or social status, or both.
What agenda is that?
I mean, you're like I said, you're just pushing it for money or social status, but obviously there's a big push against.
What agenda am I pushing?
There's a big push against woke culture, which essentially just becomes complaining about any time there's women or minorities prominent in superhero media.
I disagree. I reject that. I reject that premise. I don't think that that's the issue with just women existing as characters. Nonetheless, so you're saying. So what are you saying is my agenda that you have such an issue with?
Well, I mean, you definitely push an anti-woke agenda.
And that's a problem with you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what agenda am I pushing as far as my position that you specifically have a problem with?
Well, here, let's get some stuff out of the way then. Can you define what woke means?
I would consider like woke specifically pertaining to the push, let's say, of social justice and leftism that is, like social justice, social political views, as what I would say is pushing woke per se. It's not a term that I use a whole lot, but yeah.
All right. So can you tell me, would having a gay or trans character in a comic book, would that be considered woke?
No.
Okay. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Thinking outside the box.
That's what happens when you don't actually
done.
understand the positions of the people that you down talk.
Hey, we're learning more about each other. It's important to learn about.
Not really.
Each other.
I haven't. I mean, not really. I mean, you giving me the same thing that I kind of understood that you were going to give me going into that. That's a new position that you learned about, which could have been avoided had you actually just listened to what it is that I said. Nobody would be stupid enough to consider to think that I would say the existence of a character simply means woke. That's not how it works.
All right. Well, I mean, that's how all your friends use it. I mean, Jeremy Griggs uses it
all
the
not
time.
Talking about my friends. You made a claim about me and what I push. Like, let's stop talking about external. You don't get to fall back on that. You made a false claim. Go ahead and continue.
Hey, I don't know exactly your position, so I have to base it. I have to base it on the people you surround yourself with.
You're saying that I'm pushing an agenda and you have such issues with my position, but you don't actually know my position. That's a critical error on your part.
Hey, that's where we can learn more about each other. So when Jeremy Griggs talks about this pushing an agenda, what's your response to that? Do you contact him and say, "Hey, dude, that's not cool"?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm not. That's not the type of weak shit I'm into, of listening to other people say things and contacting them saying they should or shouldn't do something.
Dude, you stream with you do videos.
Jeremy Griggs. Yeah, Jeremy Griggs is a grown ass man.
And you do videos with him often.
That he has.
When two people do videos a lot, it kind of implies that maybe you might support something, especially if that something is prominent on their channel.
Can you for a second stop talking about other people? You're talking to me. Let's be adults.
I'm talking about people you do videos with a lot.
I don't care about that. Let's talk about myself. You can go argue with them maybe next and maybe have them
I'm all for it. Tell them I'm ready for it.
All right, that's fine.
I'm all for it.
Now let's continue to talk about so we already recognize that you got it wrong about this whole what my position is on what is woke. So you said that I'm pushing a position. Let's expand on that. What it is that you mean when you talk about me, and I take exception to that, claiming that I'm like cultivating an audience of bigots and all that, or I'm courting them. So let's talk about that, and I want you to explain further what that means.
I mean, if nothing else, I mean, do you consider Jeremy Griggs a friend?
Me and Jeremy are cool, yes.
Okay. So when he's out there screaming about woke agenda simply because there's a woman character or a minority character, etc., do you think that's cool?
I don't think that's a position, but we're not. I don't think that's his position, but we're not going to talk about other grown men.
I've seen a lot more of his stuff than yours. He whinges over that shit all the time.
All right. That's fine that you have that position. Let's talk about my position. I'm not asking about other people.
I'm just asking, like, when other people that you work with do stuff, do you have a response to them? Do you say, "Hey, dude, maybe don't do that. Hey, dude, maybe think about this."
No, I don't. That's stupid. Continuing on, you said me.
So if someone else gets something wrong, you don't think it's worth it to? If a friend gets something wrong, you don't think it's a good idea to correct them?
What about how do I court bigots?
Well, I mean, you hang out with Jeremy Griggs, that will do it.
How do I court bigots?
Well, dude, you go after women and minority characters all the time. You call them tokenized instead of just calling them black or whatever.
What minority? So you're saying that I'm going after the character. All right. So do you think that I can be against? All right. Let me say this. Let's backtrack. My position on tokenization, I've already defined it. Why is that a problem?
Why is it a problem?
Because that's generally what I go after.
Well, I would actually much rather, if you're going to have critiques, actually have thoughtful critiques than just going after somebody for being black.
That's not what tokenization is. Tokenization
you already pretty much said that's what it is. Your issue with Miles is that he's black.
No, that's not what I said. And that's remember
that is what you said.
Please don't do it again. Because I'm black, and I take exception of me married to a black woman saying that I have a problem with a person that's black.
But that's what you said. That is literally what you said.
No, that is not literally what I said. And I smack you in the fucking face in the event that you were in front of me saying that I have an issue with a color that I can't possibly control. I was born. Motherfuckers get punched in the face for a lot less. You can't go around claiming people that are of a certain ilk, whether it be a woman, whether it be a black person, female, any of that shit. You can't go around sitting there like it's okay. Like, hey, you're basically saying you got a problem with yourself. Dude, I can't control who it is that I am. I was born like this. I came out this way. My entire family is that. My wife, my lovely wife, who's hot as shit, is black. You can't go around sitting there telling people that they have a problem with themselves. That's stupid. And like I say, people get knocked the fuck out for far less than that because you're essentially saying that they hate a fucking entire large swath of people. That's themselves. Like you can't go around doing that shit.
Like I said, you're doing it for social status or money, and probably both.
No, it's what? No, like I'm not doing it at all. I'm not doing that at all. You can't possibly say that I'm doing it.
Says the man who said that Miles Morales is an issue because he's black.
I never made that claim, and that's the last time that I'm going to say that you stop saying that I have an issue with black people or black characters.
Let me ask you.
I never made that claim.
Are you
white? Are you white?
Yeah, no, I'm white.
Are you white?
I'm pretty white,
all right,
yeah.
So you white as shit. Do you not understand how fucking stupid it is for your white ass to be telling me how I got a problem with black people considering that I'm black?
I think it is exceedingly stupid that I have to explain it to you, but yeah.
Where's your family from? Are they Icelandic or what? No, they can't be because you a bitch. Ain't no fucking way they Vikings and shit. Where's your family from? Let's get to the real. Where your family from?
Wow.
Where your family from? Where's your lineage?
Dude, we don't need to know my back history.
You saw it. No. What is your history? What is your fucking history? Where's your lineage from?
Wow.
Clown. Where's your lineage?
Eric?
Where's your lineage?
Eric?
Tell me where your lineage is from. You can't. I can't say you're Scandinavian.
I tell you what.
Come from Vikings. So where's your family from? Let's talk about
Eric.
Where's your family from?
Eric, I tell you what, I will go ahead and answer. I will go ahead and tell you my basic lineage. If you can answer me a question. What is your exact... Where
is your lineage, man?
And I will tell you. I will tell you, but answer me a question.
We're talking about race. Where is your lineage? Where are your people from?
I will answer you that relevant question, but let me ask you one, and you answer that, and I'll give you all my lineage you want.
Family from? Let's not move from that. Where's your family from?
Eric.
We know you too pussy to be from fucking like Norway and shit. Where are you from? Where's your lineage?
Eric.
Where's your lineage, man? Answer the question.
What's your exact position at the Blaze?
Where is your lineage, homie?
What's your position at the Blaze?
They say it every time I'm a video contributor. Where's your lineage?
What videos do you contribute?
To the videos that I show up on in shows. Where's your lineage?
So how much they pay you for that?
No. You said that I answered the question. You will answer where you're from. We were talking about race this whole time. You know I'm black.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My family, my lineage is from West Africa. Where's your family from?
I'm Irish German, Eric.
You're Irish?
Yeah.
And German?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So think about that. Irish and German. You're Irish and German, and you're telling another black man essentially that he has a problem with people that look like him. You understand that's clown shit, right?
Well, no, I'm actually telling you you're a grifter.
You understand that's clown shit, right? That's clown shit.
I'm telling you you're a grifter.
All right. How?
Because you're just doing it for the money, dude. You're doing it for the money.
All right.
You don't believe in anything.
Right. You understand that grifting doesn't mean person that does something to get paid. That's not what grifting means.
Yeah, no. Grifting essentially means lying or doing a con job to get paid, which is what you do.
Correct. That means swindling. How have I scammed anybody?
How have you scammed? Well, I don't know. Like, here's the deal. Like, with the ideology you push, I figure either you're doing it for money or you're exceedingly stupid. So I'm kind of assuming you're doing it for money. So how much does Glenn Beck pay you?
Glenn Beck doesn't pay me. Glenn Beck doesn't own Blaze anymore.
So how much? So how much does the Blaze pay you?
Blaze doesn't pay me that much. I'm only a video contributor. I only show up every once or twice at the most a week.
I mean, you got your picture. You got your picture on the wall. You must do something for him.
Yeah, because I'm a video contributor. Why wouldn't my picture be on the wall?
Well, that
Everybody that
seems
shows up, even
that
the contributors that contribute to Jason Whitlock's show,
you,
who only show up a couple of times, those guys are also pictured at the Blaze. What's the problem?
your picture was like 4 or 5 spots away from Glenn Beck.
First of all, it's not a picture. It keeps changing, right? So it swaps through so many different people that in some way either contribute or have shows at the Blaze. That's how that panel works. It changes. It's not static.
How many
So my
copies?
picture isn't near Glenn. It's just at that point in time, maybe when you saw it, Glenn may have been appearing, but it switches. It switches, right? Anyway, like I said, back to the whole grifting thing. How have I swindled anybody?
How many copies of ISOM did the Blaze buy?
None.
You sure? How about were there any subsidiaries of the Blaze? Any people who worked at the Blaze who bought it?
Maybe for their kids, maybe, I don't know, or themselves, potentially, I'd imagine, maybe.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Yes.
Yeah. I think this is all interesting. A contributor for the Blaze suddenly has a really successful comic book.
Yeah. What is unrealistic about that? What is so interesting about that?
It's not necessarily unrealistic, but just an interesting coincidence.
How is that it's not a coincidence. It's just a thing that is.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, don't you think?
No, I don't. What is so interesting about? I also do videos for YouTube. Is that interesting?
Yeah. So you get paid by the Blaze to do video contributions. So you do your channel. What type of videos do they want you to make?
I don't make it's. When I say video contributions, it's particularly pertaining to shows. So I show up at a live show, and I get in, do the live show, leave.
What live shows do you do?
News and Why It Matters. Sometimes I've done Stu Bergier's show. I've done Matt Kivy's show. I've done Chad Prather's show. I just show up as a guest, and that's how it works.
So you just pop up randomly for videos as a guest, and they pay you for that?
Yeah, that's how it works.
That seems very, very... That seems like easy money, frankly. Seems like they might be paying you for something more.
All right, okay. What else are they paying me?
Hey, I don't have the data in front of me. I just find this all very interesting.
What's interesting about it?
Hey, that you are essentially an employee of the Blaze who gets paid to make videos.
No, I'm not an employee. They pay into my LLC.
But why would they even put your picture up if you weren't an employee?
Because first of all, most people in media aren't employees; they're contractors, per se.
Well, it depends.
To be more accurate. No, most people in media are contractors. That's how it works. They pay into my LLC.
It literally depends.
No, it doesn't depend, dude. Do you work in media?
Yeah, I have.
All right, where have you worked in media?
I worked at a TV station for a while.
All right, so you worked at a TV station.
Yeah.
You think, all right, so working at a TV station, you think the on-air talent, do you not think, you think all the TV guys are simply employees?
It varies.
All right, I would say that
the on-air guys, I will give you probably, that varies too.
All right,
it varies.
So I appear on air, okay, and they pay into my LLC for me to do it. Yeah, it is easy money. You're completely right. What's the problem?
I just find it interesting. You're paid by a clearly white right-wing agency.
Okay, so I get paid by Blaze, which you're saying leans right-wing. I'm not going to dispute that at all. What's the problem?
Well, I just find it interesting. You've been on here pushing right-wing positions while you're getting paid by a right-winger, even though you claim not to be a right-winger.
I'm a libertarian, and you can go, I'll tell you what, do your due diligence if you need to. You have never once heard me espouse a non-libertarian position on that any panel that I've been a part of. Matt Kivy also. You know Matt Kivy?
Wait. You were just arguing for the Don't Say Gay bill. That's very much a non-libertarian position.
No, I wasn't.
That's right. You argued for it and then said you don't support it, but you argued for it. So it's like Yeah.
No. You're just too stupid to understand the difference between explaining to you what's objectively in it
I
versus
think you're too
what's
stupid
not.
to
So
kind
with
of
that being
understand a
said,
lot.
well, that's fine. But again, we're going. This all is recorded, homie. So we can all go back and we can
I
find
agree.
where exact. All right. This is my position is anarcho-capitalism. That's my position. Where you feel that aligns, I don't really care. What is the problem?
My problem is that you push right-wing talking points working for a right-wing agency while claiming not to be right-wing. It's a very interesting coincidence.
So, all right. So do you think, all right, what do you consider anarcho-capitalism?
Dude, why does anarcho-capitalism matter when you just push right-wing shit?
Because I push anarcho-capitalism.
But you push right-wing shit. Like,
all right, you keep saying, see, this is what I was talking about earlier, where you keep saying you act like conservatives are superior, right? So you act like they own positions.
I definitely don't say that.
No, that's exactly what you're doing because you're acting like they own a position. I don't. I'm a libertarian. What do you think libertarianism falls on the political spectrum to you?
Well, actually, it kind of varies. It can there's left libertarians and right libertarians. There's a
all right. So I'm an anarcho-capitalist libertarian. What do you find? What do you think that falls?
All right. Well, it's your political position. Why don't you tell me?
No. That's not how this works. You get you.
Why do you want me to explain to you your political positions?
I'm not asking you to explain to me my position. I'm asking you to explain where you put it on the political spectrum. This isn't about what. I'm an anarcho-capitalist. You know that. Where do you put it on the political spectrum?
Eric, why don't you tell me? Where do you find the political spectrum?
I'm asking you a question. Where do you put anarcho-capitalism on the political spectrum?
So tell me, why are you asking me about your political spectrum?
It's just like when you try to dance around the question. And it's a simple question. Where do you put anarcho-capitalism on the political spectrum?
Eric,
is it
why,
in the right?
Why are you asking me to explain your political positions?
I am asking you that because you're claiming right wing.
Yes.
Where do you put the anarcho-capitalism?
Dude, if it's what I'll tell you what, I'll tell you this right now. If it's what you're espousing, then it's just a different name for conservatism.
Okay, so all right, so it's a different name for conservatism. So you see, do you think conservatives support abolition of police?
No, they're fairly pro-cop.
All right, I'm not.
Okay. So you support defund the police then?
I support abolishing the police, not defunding them. I support abolition of them.
Okay, so you support defund the police?
No. What about defund means they still exist. That means they just have lesser money. Okay. I support getting rid of them.
Where were you on Black Lives Matter?
Black Lives Matter is a chicken shit organization. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Yes. So you don't support Black Lives Matter?
No, I don't. It's a chicken shit organization, leftist organization. I don't support chicken shit leftist organizations.
Who won the 2020 election?
What?
Who won the 2020 election?
Apparently Joe Biden did.
Okay. Hey, good for you. You got the answer correct. Lots of people don't.
All right, so I just gave you fundamental positions that differ me from conservatives. Are you still going to sit up here and call me a conservative?
Well, that's the weird thing. Like you argue conservative positions, and then whenever you're pushed on it, you walk it back.
No, that's not how it works.
That's exactly how it works, dude. Hold on, no, we're talking about exactly how it works.
I've advocated. No, that's not how it works. I've advocated. Did I not tell you I support abolishing the public schools?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a conservative position. I also support abolishing police. That's not a conservative position.
So if you support
you're like light years behind your own ass, man.
So if you support abolishing public schools, why did you give a shit about the Don't Say Gay bill to go off on it for forever?
I didn't go off on it forever. You got it wrong in terms. You got it wrong on what it was, and I was simply correcting you. Okay. So now you know my positions, though. Let's get back to the whole. You find it interesting. Going back, so you find it interesting that, let's say, a largely conservative network, meaning that that's the field, though everybody there isn't conservative, most of them are. I will concede that. What is the problem with me going there, getting my word out there, actually, to people that are probably the most responsive certainly to it. What issue do you have with that? And getting paid handsomely to do it. What's the problem?
My issue is that you're a grifter, Eric. My issue is that you're a grifter that pushes a toxic culture into the community.
How have I scammed anybody?
How have you scammed anybody?
That's what grifting means.
Yeah.
I swindled somebody. So how have I scammed anybody?
Because you're pushing a right-wing agenda. You're doing it dishonestly. I mean,
all right, but you're saying I scammed. If I am a grifter, I would have had to scam. How did I scam? That means I did something. If it's pertaining to money, sold something.
Eric, you're either a scammer or an idiot. Which would you rather?
I'm neither of those. I reject both of them.
So why do you work with right-wing organizations that are against suppressing the rights of women and minorities?
It's easy. Well, bullshit. But it's easy. I do stuff, contribution to the blaze, because I get to get my message out there to a larger audience.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm getting tired. This is an interesting conversation.
No. We're not skirting past. No. Hold on. You called me a grifter. That is a positive claim. It's actually libelous or slanderous, depending on what way that you want to put it. Prove that I swindled somebody. We're not skirting past that.
You want evidence?
Yes. You can't just go around claiming people swindled people if you don't got proof.
Claiming that you swindled people. Dude, I'm essentially just saying you're either a liar or an idiot.
All right. So I've not lied. I'm not stupid. So you're saying that all right, is your position that I'm a grifter?
Well, if you're not stupid, then yeah, you must be a grifter.
All right, so prove that I've swindled people. Go ahead.
So
do it right here.
So, I mean, why do you always go after women and minority characters?
What is that? I don't, but that has nothing to do with me swindling people. You need to prove the fraud. Prove the fraud. Can you prove the fraud?
Eric, I'm getting a bit too tired for this, okay?
So you bailing. So see, this is all right. So I'll say this. I guess you're going to be on your way out. I'll say this. Don't go around. First of all, as I'm telling you this, I'm obviously black. I can't hide it. It's something that I was born with. Don't go around telling. I would advise, certainly don't do that shit in person to other people. Make it a habit of telling as your white ass. Because how much you weigh? You got to be like what? Maybe one fucking what? How much you weigh?
200.
You 200 pounds. How tall are you?
5'11".
5'11", 200. You ain't in shape, so that's a lot of fat that's going on being 5'11", 200. So you unathletic and you white as fuck.
I like how you're avoiding the point.
No, I'm trying to put you. No, hold up, homie. I'm trying to put you on game. Listen, you tired. Let me get this on way. So you fat, out of shape, and you white. Don't go around. I would advise you not do that. Go around talking about black people, saying that they have issues with themselves. I would not make it a habit if I were you, considering that you ain't built for that level of action. I would not advise that.
What is that a threat?
As a white,
is that a threat? What was that?
No. I'm saying don't do it to anybody. It doesn't matter to me. We know you can't whoop my ass. I'm talking about anybody. Don't go around going to black people, making it a habit of saying that they despise themselves. That is something that I would advise that you not do. Also, in addition to that, don't go around claiming that people have swindled people just because you don't like their politics. That's all this ever amounted to. You don't like right-wingers. Okay, fine.
Eric, here's an interesting thing. It's not even right-wing they have an issue with. It's bigots, and you're pushing a bigoted agenda.
Right, and you're claiming that I'm pushing a bigoted agenda, and you white as fuck. It's more likely that your white ass, definitely considering that you have this kind of low expectation of black people and how they're supposed to orchestrate, because I guess they're
No, Eric, it's just you. It's just you.
People are supposed to gargle the fucking nutsack of Marvel or DC because they throw out tokenized characters, because I guess you think that black people are only fucking old, sloppy second characters as opposed to original ones, like the great Isom. With that being said, if you cannot prove, and I'll ask of this, even if I think you a bitch ass nigga, and you absolutely are a bitch ass nigga, make no mistake.
Man.
Even if I believe that, I am willing to walk away from this on good terms. If you, now that you know my positions, stop going around making false claims about myself, considering they aren't true. You cannot go around claiming that I despise somebody or because they look like myself, or that I fraud anybody. You can't go around doing that. I'm willing to walk away from this and it's all good, right? This happened within this window. You a hoe ass nigga, and I'm gonna operate as such. But we should be able to walk away from that. If you act in good faith, if you're not just some fucking troll that goes around despising right-wingers, right, and you're actually acting in good faith because you care so much, right? You got Black Lives Matter in your fucking bio because you care so much about black people, except when they disagree with you. If you actually have that position and you're acting in good faith, I am asking that you don't slander.
When they help bigots.
I'm asking that you don't slander or libel to myself.
Eric,
can I get your word that walking away from this conversation, you will stop doing that?
Well, no, I promise not to lie knowingly. Now, Eric, you...
No. I'm asking you. So we got it out the way where my positions are. This has nothing to do with bigotry. This has absolutely nothing to do with me grifting because I have not committed fraud. If you do think I've committed fraud, and again, these are libelous claims, by the way. If you do think I've committed fraud, sue me. But we should be able to walk away from this with you being, that's all I ask of you. Walk away from this conversation. Remember, you initiate conflict. I will say nothing about you so as long as you don't say shit about me. All I ask is that you be honest. That's it. You cannot lie to me. That's cool.
I think it's interesting how you go after people. Eric, how often have you gone after a bigger channel?
What?
How often, when you go after somebody on Twitter or on YouTube, how often do you go after a bigger channel than you?
I don't generally go after anybody. You have my name.
You don't?
No, I don't. No, because this is how it works. See, this is how it works. You might be a bottom feeder. I'll agree with that. You are nipping at my ankles, and I'm just a responding agency. If you don't say shit, come correct, I will say nothing about you.
Okay,
I will say nothing
so Eric.
Right? That's all you have to do. So if a bigger channel set, like with Ninja, me and Ninja got into it over the mask stuff. Ninja went after me. I went toe-to-toe with Ninja. I have no problem. If you got my name in your mouth, I don't care how big or how small your channel is. If you got my name in your mouth and you're talking dying, we can address that. Mm-hmm. The reason why you got responded to is because you initiate the conflict. So because you initiate the conflict,
I can't help it. I got annoyed when you were pointing out a person was autistic. That was really shitty of you.
It's really shitty that I pointed out a person that was bragging about being autistic was autistic.
It's not a brag. They were just stating as a fact about themselves in their bio, and it had nothing to do with the current conversation.
Right. And I said, I will be patient with them, and I acknowledge their autism. And you took issue with that. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
but that's
because you're signaling to your fans to bully them. That is what you're doing.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
That doesn't even make. All right, no, I'm not. And I'm correcting you now. That is not my position. And I would ask greatly that you just again be honest. I'm correcting you. That is not my position. I wouldn't have anybody go after anybody. I have autistic fans, obviously. I have autistic customers, more accurately putting it. I have no issue with that, but I will be patient with an autistic person if I'm having Are you autistic? Are you on the spectrum?
No.
Okay, all right, cool. So anybody that I do have a conversation with, though, I will be patient with. I'm especially patient with autistic people. So you know my position. It has nothing to do with asking people to go attack someone because they're autistic. That's fucking nonsensical, and that doesn't make any sense. So you've been corrected on that.
You know what your stuff does, but Eric.
Nobody. All right. Are you? Look, I'm not saying that anybody should go after anybody because they're autistic, and you know that. You're just needing me to have that position because you have this perception of me that you need me to be this sort of negative boogeyman that you've created in your head. But I'm not that. But you've been corrected. You've been corrected. I've not demanded of my audience to go attack autistic people, especially which you completely ignored. The people in that thread that are like, I'm autistic and I take no issue. You ignore that because you think you can speak, just like you think you can speak on behalf of black people and bigotry and how they feel about certain things. You think you can speak on behalf of autistic people. You're not even autistic. What is it with these folks like yourself who are these like white leftists who insist that they can speak on behalf of large bodies of people? You're not even autistic, so you can't speak for autistic people. And you're obviously not black because you're white as shit. But you're trying to speak on behalf, talking about bigotry because I said something when that's not the position. How about you just speak for your fucking self?
All right, Eric.
That's probably you will correct all of your errors if you spoke for yourself. You've been corrected. Wow. Not an issue with autistic people. All right. You've been corrected. I'm not a grifter. There's no fraud. You've been corrected on that. And there's no, more specifically, let's talk about, like I say, the bigotry as far as despising black people or black characters. That's not the issue. So you've been corrected on a few points, probably more than that. All I ask is that since you're tired, I'm going to let you leave. All I ask is that you walk away from this conversation and stop fucking lying. That's it. That's it. Be honest. If you act in good faith, because I won't say anything about you. The only reason why this is even the case is because you initiate conflict. If you just shut the fuck up talking about me, we'll be good, right? So all I ask is that you be honest. If you can do that, all good. You won't hear me say jack shit. This will be the last time I even mention your bitch ass.
Okay. Yeah,
all
no, I try to be as honest as possible in all my content. Right. And Eric, I ask...
I'm not sure I believe that, but I'll take your word for it going forward. All I ask is that you stop fucking lying. Don't call me. Again, these are libelous claims, claiming that I fraud someone when that's never happened, and especially claiming bigotry on my own fucking race. I take exception to that. So just don't do that again, and we good.
Okay. We good? Well, Eric, do me a favor. Don't claim to be a comic book fan unless you read Amazing Fantasy number 15.
That's not that.
Yeah, I would have been done with that for a while. God damn, he was triggered. Holy shit. Okay, so I got a couple of super chats. I want to say thank you. Let me dig them up. Give me one moment. I know Mikael was asking to come on. I wasn't planning to stream tonight. This went on for 3 hours. I need to work on. Okay, I tell you what, Mikael. I'm digging up super chats. If you want to come on Discord for a couple minutes and talk while I dig up super chats, that'll be it. And then I need to work my way to bed. I got an early morning. But man, oh my God. Yeah, no, he's probably still going. He's probably a bit triggered right now going off.
All I'm fucking saying is that this guy is sitting here trying as a guy that divorced the fucking, he divorced the that's the worst thing you could possibly do, is leave your children to grow without. I know shit doesn't work out, but you are not in a position to talk about people not giving a fuck about women, right? When your bitch ass, you not even with the children, your children's mother you not with, right? You not even autistic, yet you speaking on behalf of fucking women, and you speaking on behalf of autists. Come on, man.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I have to apologize. I was in a birthday party, so I didn't see most of it. I did see the last 20 minutes, so I got the most of the points right there.
Yeah, you saw him get triggered, but yeah. Jeez. Yeah. That was fun. So yeah, what were your thoughts?
Well, I have two topics that are very important for this. You see, two of them are, one of them is Eric July and his character.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one of the videos that you did in the retro dive and that thing. You see the whole thing where you were watching his earliest videos.
Yeah.
And I wondered why he was so judgmental over Black Panther. And I'm not saying that you're not allowed to be judgmental towards it, but It's more like how he was being judgmental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's that's a lot of how it is. I'll go ahead and say it. I haven't had a chance to rewatch it, but I did not like Wakanda Forever except for a few moments. But I mean, there's certain aspects of it I liked, and it's kind of how you judge it. I thought the performances were largely fairly good. I largely had issues with the story. But all these people, it's all in how you do it. And it's also the pattern. They're always finding excuses to go after these people. Holy crap, I didn't realize I had so many people in chat.
Yeah, of course. He doesn't go over the story. That's the difference between you and him. You see, he never went into the idea of what Black Panther was about. He just kept on criticizing the community. Mm-hmm. He said, I can directly quote it. He said, it would be idiotic not to see the effect this has on the black community. And then he just I feel like he never really addresses what the black community had was so excited about. Did he even bother to ask them? I know he has a few friends that are a part of it. And that's the thing, the crazy thing is he's always going with this agenda of oh yes, well, those guys over there, they're liberals, so we shouldn't trust them. It's does he ever even talk about the ideas that these guys push, what they're actually for, and why it's bad or if it's good?
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, that's the thing. I was bringing up Jeremy Griggs to him. He, of course, isn't going to take any credit for Jeremy Griggs, but it's come on, man. Okay, so super chat. Slasher Gasher, thank you for the $1.99. Repressed Hypocrisy gave me $7 total. And he said it's because Miles is black and half Latino. He is Spider-Man. He is also not a copy of Peter Parker, even in Ultimate Comics days. This is racism. And then he gave me $2. Comic reader, can't read between the lines. Okay, thank you guys. But yeah, so back to you, Mikhail.
Oh yeah. Well, you see, the thing is, like, you know that this whole thing is going wrong with like them just going in and just talking about this. Another thing, Miles Morales. On the story level, I love that story, and I love the way that it's told. But then I find it weird because there's no political message in Miles Morales. You would agree to this, right?
Yeah, no, not really. And holy shit. Joseph Daniel, thank you so much for the $125 super chat. He's super triggered. He sounds like the most Karen meltdown I talk to every day, every workday. Was willing to give Isom a chance, but he focused it being anti-woke. Wow. Well, thank you so much for that super chat, dude. It doesn't surprise me at all if he's melting down right now. He was melting down at the end of that chat. It was ridiculous.
Not to go against your business, but you see, you outcompeted me, Mr. Joseph. Like, you went over. Yeah. One time I gave Mr. Organized $100, but like, I don't suggest doing, not to go against your business, Mr. Organized, but like, I don't suggest doing this a lot because, you know, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you have it, I greatly appreciate it. It does help me out a lot. Times are tight, but yeah, thank you so much, dude. That was honestly, it was a fun debate. Honestly,
yeah. Like Isom itself, even remember that whole political angle he was doing at the end. He just kept on referring to like the bad actors, which is odd, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Well,
The second point I wanted to go into, remember how he said like he doesn't want to go against geeks and gamers, or like he implied that?
Yeah.
I've recently seen a thing that happened in the Dragon Ball community, power scaling community, which is Seth the Programmer. You see, there are a bunch of YouTubers who are, and this is an example for this. You see, there are a bunch of YouTubers that just like to power scale characters in fiction, but Seth the Programmer himself is the face of this entire community. He's kind of like the geeks and gamers and all these other guys, the person who's very popular among this community. And you see, he's been going around behind people's back and just like making fun of them, and no one could target him because he was just such a popular person. He was head of this hierarchy, and he just kept on doing it until recently that it's been noticed that he goes after underage girls.
Oh God!
But But the crazy thing is that all of this time he is just so popular that no one could go against him, even though he clearly, even in his videos and his podcasts, was very mean, bullying everyone around him. And
yes, see, actual fandom.
That's and you see, exactly, actual fandom. And that's the crazy thing. You see, he wait, actual fandom? Never mind. Nah.
Yeah, no, actual fandom said he wants to hop on, so he can hop on after. And
sure, after. Shit.
I think there's gonna be after chats, and I need to get to bed. But yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there's a lot, you know. But what I was going with is that this whole thing where like everyone is like this guy being the top of the hierarchy, and like he was untouchable for all this time. Maybe that's why he hasn't really spoken out over this.
Yeah.
He really claims to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're probably onto something there. He's.
Yeah.
Oh, and I want to let you know your record is actually secure. He gave me 125 pesos, not $125.
Oh.
But still, thank you, man. Thank you very much. But yeah, Eric July just strikes me as kind of an insecure dude right now. I think it seemed like I was hitting kind of close, and he kind of didn't. That's probably what was setting him off so much. That's kind of my thought right now. But yeah, is there anything?
That's sad truth.
Anything you want to add before I bring on Dane?
Just this, your everything, you know, like this video just proves that you're really secure yourself. And I'm glad that in YouTube, where all of this stuff keeps on being brought up, and very badly, I might add, I'm just glad that there are people like you, actual fandom, pop counterculture, all of these great guys who just come in and just like fix up this broken system that we've got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Hopefully we can get some change. I feel like the Fandom Initiative is taking off, and we will see where it goes. But yeah, thanks for coming on,
That's
man.
the crazy thing. My dream came true. My hope came true. We actually have a ground news for YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yay! we will see how it goes. We gotta keep on pushing it forward. But thanks for coming on, man.
Of course. Thank you for having me on. Have a good one.
You too. Hey, hello. Dane. Hey.
Hey.
How are you doing? How are you?
Good.
Did you end up watching the whole thing? What are your thoughts?
I watched up until the last probably like 15 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was mostly just Eric yelling at that point.
Yeah. It was nuts, man. I guess trying to figure out what I should just end my stream and be on yours, right?
Oh, are you live as well?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Shit.
No, I was live that whole time.
Nice. No.
I mean, up until the last 15 minutes.
Did you do? Okay, yeah. It seemed like you were doing a live reaction. That's awesome. I'm kind of interested to watch your reaction now. We'll see. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, once again, man, like you got the patience that I wish I had.
Yeah.
Yeah. From what I understand, he's now like he's making some gross shit comments that he wouldn't make to you directly.
Oh yeah.
You notice how he first of all, you notice how he couldn't wait. As soon as you got on with him, he couldn't wait to do a thinly veiled threat of assault.
Yep.
You know, what a bitch. And then also, well, God, there was so much. I'm gonna look back through my chat here. I got some comments starred that help remind me.
Well, Jedi of Osis, thank you for the $10 super chat. Plus, if he tries to act like he won, just put up a supercut of his rage out. His rage out was something else.
There's gonna be a supercut. There's gonna be some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He revealed a lot,
as
he usually does, just by talking, because that's what happens when you're just a habitual liar and you're constantly making claims that aren't backed up, and then something you say down the road is going to contradict that. He clearly doesn't know much about comics.
No.
You got him on Amazing Fantasy number 15.
I couldn't believe that too. It's like, what?
So like I was trying to tell, my chat and stuff, like, it's not about every comic fan needs to know what that is, or they're not a real. No, it's like you're claiming he's got a show called For Canon's Sake.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I believe that it wasn't just that he finally said it, even though he knew it the whole time, is because of how quickly he blurted it out whenever he did finally have an answer for you.
Yeah.
And if he's trying to get you back on the point that he's trying to get you on, which is that's all he did, was try to get away from your points. But any person, if somebody's like, what was Amazing Fantasy number 15, and you're just like, I don't want to talk about that. You would just say, it's the first appearance of Spider-Man. No, answer my question. Something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what any sane, rational person would have done. But no, he gish galloped and he fucking he didn't know. He didn't know shit.
Yeah, no, it's like, that's the thing. I wasn't even going to go after him for comic knowledge, because like I said, I'm like a moderate fan. Like, especially now, I'm more into movies. I don't like know all the in and outs. So I like the whole point of Amazing Fantasy 15 was that, oh, here's something everybody knows. Oh shit, he doesn't.
Was he trying to say that that actually disproved you because that his motive was going for money? Was that what he was saying?
I don't know. He said a lot.
If that's what there's gonna have to be some reckoning with some of the things he said there. But like, I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was trying to say that Spider-Man's motivation was money, which excludes the second half of Peter Parker's origin.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many things, man. Mine and my audience's brains are all turned to mush now. I'm sure yours too. And we salute you. You I had a couple of people say you should be debating it. I'm like, nah, I wouldn't still be going at this point. I probably would have gotten too mad half an hour in, and either he would have hung up on me or the other way around.
Well, this might be one of my longer debates already. This might be my second longest, but yeah, I couldn't do another 5 because shit, I gotta be at work in 7.5 hours now.
Well,
but yeah, that was that.
Sorry, how do you feel about it? How do you feel you did?
There was points where I wasn't so sure, but I like I was feeling better and better as we went, and like Amazing Fantasy 15 was just like, oh shit, that was like a slam dunk. That was like.
Well, so just so nobody thinks that we're doing like a cope stream or something like that, and that I am honest with you. Do you mind if I tell you like one main thing that I think you could work on?
Oh, absolutely.
Sticking on points too long.
True. I agree.
Once it's to a point where it's like either he's not going to answer honestly or he's just gish galloping and deflecting and all this shit. Just have the next one lined up, and you did start to do that later on, by the way. But
yeah. No, it's I hate it when they dance around points, and I like to try to at least get them obviously dancing around it, and sometimes I push it too far, but I don't know.
I guess
I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Yeah, dude, you're doing, considering like you've only had a handful of debates. Like, no, you're great. I mean, at least you're engaging honestly and with facts. That's not something he can say.
Yeah.
And how many debates has he been in?
More than me.
So more than a lot of people, I imagine. Because that's what he does. He monetizes. He literally named his stream that. Monetize my haters. And it's all about setting the terms for his audience. That's why he can't just say this is a debate. Like, he can't just let people come in with their own a blank slate and see this as just a debate of ideas. No, before they even click on it, he's already setting the terms in their mind that this is just a hater. You're just a hater, Bob.
Yeah.
You're not a real critic. You don't have anything real to say. You're just hating. Because he can't engage with the ideas. He doesn't know what character motivation means.
I know. Listen, he needs to do this, otherwise his mom will yell at him. It's like,
right?
The fuck are you talking about?
That was a trip, and I look forward to plenty of clips. But what I did gain out of it personally is now I know that no matter how hard I go at him, he's going to be really patient with me.
That's what he's famous for.
No, because he said that he's going to be really patient with people that are on the spectrum.
Yeah, true.
I'm gonna double down on how hard because look, I already built my channel on him, as he says. So why the fuck do I have any reason to feel ashamed about constantly covering him?
Well, yeah, I mean, you cover him since the beginning of your channel, despite the fact that you didn't even start covering him until a few months ago. But we're not gonna let facts cloud this, okay?
What are facts? What are they even? No. He just shuts down criticism, and that's what he has to do. And it's, man, you had him upset. So a minute ago, whenever I had stopped watching, and then I was like, oh, it looks like Bob might be done. And then I clicked on your video, and I thought I fast forwarded all the way to the present moment of your stream, but apparently I didn't quite get there. And so I started watching, thinking that you were still talking to him. And that was whenever he was just going the fuck off, like, you got to promise not to say mean things about me anymore.
Yeah. Quit punching up. Quit punching.
Somebody in my chat was like, he's already, that you're not watching the current thing. And I was like, oh shit. But yeah, that was insane. The fact that he's like demanding that you respect him without earning any respect isn't that exactly what a fucking snowflake is to them?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that just,
I'm a
special boy. You're not being respectful of me. And it's insane that he's exactly everything that he claims and has claimed, these weirdos are.
Well, that's the thing. It seems like all these people are. Whenever they complain about stuff, it's like self-reports. Like when he was telling me this huge list of stuff that was supposedly about me, I'm like, oh my God, this is you, isn't it? Like, Jesus. And I would have to go back to see, but like there was points where it's like, God, he's actually telling on himself here. Thank you, Avenger 1340, for becoming a member. But yeah, that was wild. Dane, it's always great to talk to you.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna try to get.
And
oh, go ahead.
Sure. I just wanted to say real quick that anybody watching, let's see, 46 people watching my channel. If you're not subscribed to Organized Chaos, you should be. And if you're somebody who was supporting my channel through memberships, you're not right now because my monetization is off. But if you want to spend some money to support somebody that earns it, support Organized Chaos. So that'll be it.
Yeah, we'll also support actual fandom. I got a few people in my chat right now. Support actual fandom. Go check out the Fandom Initiative. Pop Counterculture is a great channel. He has very few subs. Go check him out. We got Will Screedia, we got Eric's Reloaded, we got Turf Nation, and we stream the Sundays at 4 p.m. EST and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. EST.
We got Little Movie Perp. We got
Little Movie Perp. Yeah.
Gamers.
Yeah.
And then we got the man who made Eric July fucking crumble. Organized Chaos. All right, thanks, man.
I do what I can, but yeah, everyone have a good one.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.
I don't understand it.